I just started this and don't know how to keep going. We are the Inspired Incompetence Podcast. Welcome in to the inaugural episode of our War for the Crown Adventure Path, exclusive only to patrons.
Ow, ow,
Okay.
ow!
How's everybody doing? As a quick overview for our patrons and for anyone, well, I guess for the patrons, because they're the only ones that are going to hear this anyway. We are running the War for the Crown podcast, the War for the Crown Adventure Path, if you will. And the way this one works is it takes place almost entirely in the nation of Taldor, which is kind of like when you look at a map of the Inner Sea, it is like just to the northeast of the actual Inner Sea itself. And in fact, the capital city, Apara, where we are going to start our adventure, is right on the corner, like right on that sea. This is much more of a social campaign compared to like Tyrant's Grasp, which is dungeon after dungeon after dungeon after dungeon after dungeon. And I think I might have missed a couple dungeons in there, but
Yep. I got a really good feeling about this. I feel like I'm going to really succeed.
oh, you think so?
Yeah, to be fair, you've been very successful in TG so far. I've been saying for a month and a half now, you're the new Devoth.
Yeah. Talk like that's just going to get me killed, though, so keep it on the hush-hush.
All right, so this is the main city.
This is a map of Apara, the city where we are beginning our journey.
Now, it looks like it's divided by is that a waterway into 3 quadrants?
Just judging from this, it does appear to be, I mean, it is a canal. It's called Canal Row right there. So yeah, that's
Okay, yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of like canals and man-made stuff in Taldor. This is a country that is very, very old and has a very long and proud history. Like the Taldan Empire literally stretched from the confines that it has now all the way across the Inner Sea into like what is now Cheliax. And it stretched like way north up to even like Last Wall. Like the Shining Crusade that we've talked about in Tyrant's Grasp.
Yes.
Like it was like the Taldan army that won that crusade. And like and they set up the nation of Last Wall to guard against the Whispering Tyrant rising again.
Yeah. I've always thought of Taldor as like the in-game equivalent of like the ancient Roman Empire, where like they used to like literally own all of Europe and like just everything, and then like over time, very slowly, like they just couldn't maintain how big they were, and they just got smaller and smaller and smaller.
But much like ancient Rome in its dwindling days, they currently still think they're hot shit, and like most of the nobility in Taldor just thinks it's a matter of time until they go back on the conquest path to reclaim everything that got taken from them over the years.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Now, quick question. In terms of like time period, is this AP set to take place after Tyrant's Grasp, before Tyrant's Grasp?
In like publication order, which is kind of like the timeline of Adventure Paths, this was, I think, the last one to come out before Tyrant's Grasp. So like this is literally like right before.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, this is also definitely taking place after Skull and Shackles. Like this is probably like I think I have to check my notes, but I think I have this set like maybe like a year after the end of Skull and Shackles.
Oh, so it's relatively close.
Yeah.
So like, people may have known the name Devoth.
Yeah, especially like
plausible.
among the nobility, because Taldor is well known for its very powerful navy. So I'm sure a new king taking over in the Shackles would be noteworthy to most of the nobility in Taldor.
Wasn't it about a year after Devoth became Hurricane King? Spoilers. That Gargolavo kind of came back and did some fuckery.
I think it was.
So that's kind of going on like as we speak right now.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Very
awesome.
So yeah, sorry there for anyone who hasn't finished Skull and Shackles yet, but there you go.
Oopsie poopsie.
So we're going to open with a quick scene here that I will read out before we dive into the action, so to speak. So we open as the picture fades in on an opulent sitting room. An older man in royal refinery paces about the room, muttering to himself for a few moments before a knock at the door interrupts his personal monologue. "What is it?" he shrieks almost manically, not bothering to look up from his pacing. The door opens, and a halfling enters the room, dressed as a servant, and bows. "He is here, your highness." With barely a glance at the servant, the man waves at him dismissively. "Well then, don't just stand there gawking. Show him in. Useless people, a lot of them." He trails off as the servant scurries back out the door. A moment later, the door reopens, and a man wearing neatly pressed military regalia enters the chamber. He makes his way over to the crowned man and kneels before him. "Oh, get up, the older man says. "We haven't time for your pomp. Is everything prepared for tonight?" Straightening up, the younger man, younger only by comparison, furrows his brow before replying. "Yes, your highness. It is as you requested. The Ilfin God has been placed on high alert, and the other resources you requested have been made ready." He pauses for a moment. "Your highness, are you sure all of this is necessary?" "Necessary? No, it is urgent." The man looks manic. "This vote should not even be happening. It is an insult and a blatant attack against me. And to think it's my own family perpetuating the assault. I am betrayed by my own blood. Again. You ask if these measures are necessary? They were necessary months ago. Now they are urgent." The younger man bows his head at the reprobation. "As you say, your highness. What about the other matter?" The older man smirks. Yes, you needn't be so hesitant, my boy. Everything has been arranged and certified already. You are the only person in this damned palace I can trust." The younger man's face softens at this news, the relief plain to see. The older man moves over to one of a pair of cushioned chairs to sit, and motions for the younger man to pour some wine and join him. The scene fades as the younger man sits in the other chair, handing the older man a goblet as they continue their conversation. And from there, the camera fades out, and it comes back in on the scene with our four heroes. I guess heroes, we'll call them that. The four of you are riding in a carriage with an attractive young woman that you know is named Martella Lothide. She has hired each of you for your specific talents to assist her at the Senate Gala tonight in advance of a very important vote. Like, this is a vote that could change the course of history for Taldor. Now, for the last several thousand years, Taldor has worked under a form of primogeniture where only male offspring can inherit titles, can inherit the throne. There are instances of female, duchesses and, minor lords, but the nation of Taldor has always been ruled by men for the last 3,000 years, however long this country's been around. You would all know that probably about 20 years before this, 20 years ago, the only son of the current emperor died in a horse riding accident, leaving only his older sister, the son's older sister, as the only offspring of the emperor. Before then, before the death of her brother, this princess known as Eutropia never really showed much interest in politics. But you know that since the death of her brother, she started, that kind of kickstarted her. So she really started getting more and more involved in the running of the nation. And she's really been pushing in recent years for the end of primogeniture so that she could inherit the throne instead of a potential succession war or her father just naming a successor from among the nobility, which has happened a few times in history.
Makes sense to me.
Yep. So today is the day of that vote to end this practice of primogeniture. So you have been hired by Martella Lothide, who is not only working on behalf of Princess Eutropia to further her efforts to make this vote pass. You also have been made aware that she is a representative of the Masked Brotherhood.
Oh. Badass.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Masked Brotherhood.
Yeah. And you know that, what you know of the Masked Brotherhood so far is that they are one of any number of behind-the-scenes organizations that play for power within Taldor. You don't really know anything about like who runs it. All you really know is that Martella is a member of the Mass Brotherhood, and she has hired you for your particular talents to assist her tonight to shore up this vote, and potentially, if all goes well, this could be your audition to obtain a place in the Mass Brotherhood yourselves.
So is this like the functional division of the Mass Brotherhood? Like a secret, or this is the part of the secret organization that actually stays secret?
Yeah, very funny.
This is the one that has corporate stationed there, so they actually have to like follow the rules and stay up to code and shit.
OSHA comes in once a month.
So before we dive into the current scene, a little further background on what's been going on. This vote is taking place at the end of like this week-long celebration. Like today, the day in game is called the Day of Exaltation, or the Grand Day of Exaltation. It's a holiday every year where the Grand Prince, like the Emperor of Taldor is known as the Grand Prince, he raises up like a commoner of some particular talent set into the ranks of the nobility. And usually in the week leading up to the Day of Exaltation, like the city of Apara literally like doubles in size as people just come in from all over the country for this big festival, this big party leading up to the Day of Exaltation.
Nice. So we could become royalty.
Well,
Does it just pick it out at random? Or does it roll dice?
It is chosen in advance, and and you would know that like heading into this, you know the name of the guy who's being chosen is a guy named Calbio, and he is from a small town called Breezy Creek. Kind of like it's kind of out in the boonies, but this guy is known nationwide for his talent as a weaver. Like he has made some of like the most beautiful tapestries in the kingdom.
Yo, Breezy Creek sounds like a really small town. It sounds like a
right.
It sounds like a location, not a town.
So you guys find yourselves riding in this carriage, the four of you and Martella Lothid. And why don't we start there? Why don't we do some character intros? Why don't we introduce ourselves, our new characters, and we will start with Alex. Who are you playing instead of DMing for once?
My character's name is Brunswick Bentley Cooper, and he is being cast by Sam Neill, a la Dr. Grant from Jurassic Park and many other works. He is an arcanist with the spell savant archetype, meaning he is... So an arcanist, for those who don't know, is kind of a hybrid between a wizard and a sorcerer. The main rub is you prepare your spells at the beginning of the day like a wizard, but of those spells that you prepare, you can cast spontaneously as if you were a sorcerer, and those were your spells known. Then there's some other things in there. A spell savant kind of gets you a little closer to a wizard, but you're still an arcanist, and you pick a arcane school to specialize in, and you get 2 opposition schools just like a wizard. And Brunswick is, for those purposes, an enchanter. He specializes in enchantment magic. And that is Brunswick.
Very cool. All right, let's throw it on over to Tom. Who are you playing this time around?
Oh, this time I have a very fun character. I am playing Vulpus Preskley. Some of you guys might see a little bit of a connection to Elvis Presley, and there's a reason. He looks almost identical to him. He's wearing this nice studded leather, white armor.
That's not armor, Tom. It's just a silly outfit.
He's like very over the top, loves his red fur. He's like just absolutely like appreciates anything with like that's elegant or anything like that.
He's a rock star.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
He's over the top. He's definitely a storyteller by nature and singer. So, and he is the masked. He's actually under. What is it called again? It's called the masked.
The masked performer.
The masked performer under the bard archetype. So, He's definitely fitting in real well into this.
Now, what does that mass performer archetype do?
Oh, geez, I'm glad that you asked because I absolutely still am struggling to understand the difference. From what I understand, it's kind of like the vigilante, except this time people know my masked identity and they associate it with the actual person. But because I'm a kitsune as well, I'm also a shapeshifter. So things are very complicated in changing characters for me. I'm still trying to figure it out.
But Tom, you usually keep things so simple.
I know.
Yeah, the way I understand it is, you have that dual identity and all of the normal benefits that brings from a vigilante. Only, it's like, it's just not a secret that you are like, oh, that's Vulpes Presley. That's, that's the mass performer,
Yeah.
whatever your alternate persona is.
But because I'm a kitsune,
Yeah.
can I have 4 identities going at once? Is that the thing?
Oh, God.
I'm going to say no.
I'm getting a very Hannah Montana vibe here.
Well, on that subject, Nick, how about your character? What are you bringing to the table?
On the subject of Hannah
I would be-
Montana?
Yeah.
I wish.
Okay.
I was thinking Peanuts. So I'm just playing the silly madam of a local brothel in the town. His name is Ladian, but most people would call her Madame L. And she is a changeling, actually. And she's also, her class is a mesmerist. So she's a spellcaster, but she's mostly based around this ability called Hypnotic Stare, which basically it's like a gaze attack, and it applies debuffs and penalties to whoever she's targeting. Usually it goes after their will save, and she basically is about debuffing her opponents. She's going to have high diplomacy and bluff, and she's about 47 right now. And she's really spent the vast majority of her life in the brothel. From a young age all the way up to the point where she finds herself now essentially running the brothel as the madam. And she has a big affinity for information. She learned a long time ago when she was young that information equals power. So she likes to know as much as she can.
And who is the actress you've chosen to represent her?
Yes. So I chose Elizabeth Hurley, her present day look.
That is a solid choice. I think it was you mentioned earlier. She is the human embodiment of fine wine.
Yes, yes. She's just gotten more and more beautiful as she's gotten older. And that's very much what my character is like. She's very clearly, as Axel would say, past her prime. But
Okay. You didn't have to say that out loud. Whatever.
hey, you put it in a recording, so
Yeah, Matt kept it
canon
in the
now.
recording.
So yeah, but she's obviously not the youngest kid anymore, but yet she looks as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than when she was younger, which she has been known to definitely use that to her advantage.
All right. And last but possibly least, that brings us to Joe. Give us a nice, incredibly detailed scenario of your well-fleshed-out character.
Yeah.
I hope
yeah,
everyone brought a
definitely
notepad.
least. All right, so buckle up. I'm playing a ninja named Carl. It's Carl with a K. All right. And
You want to spell that for us?
no. And so, yeah.
Oh, don't worry.
Anyways,
Matt did
Carl.
for you.
Guys, let me work Carl. All right. You guys had your cool character intros. Now it's time for the real deal.
Yeah.
So he's a ninja, and he uses nunchucks, obviously, and he poisons people. Although I don't really know how that mechanic works, so we're gonna sort of work that on the fly. But I'll do a lot of sneak attacking, and supposedly I'm the only main frontline person in our group, which feels pretty stupid for a ninja, but the whole thing feels pretty stupid. So again, buckle up. And yeah, so Carl's whole thing is that he's like really cool, you know, and he's got kind of an attitude. Like, if someone was to try something, he'd be like, "Oh, you probably couldn't do that. Like, leave it to the experts," because he's, you know, an awesome ninja, so he thinks he's better than everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you'll find out rather quickly that he is not.
Oh, don't go selling yourself short. You never know what you're capable
Yeah,
of.
I bet.
Well, I
bet
know
that-
what I'm capable of.
I bet the ninja named Carl with a C, Carl with a K, excuse me, will surprise the fuck out of
Yeah.
everybody.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah, we'll see. But I'm excited to play a ninja. It should be sweet.
All right.
Holy shit.
Now, and you know, you guys didn't just receive your invitation today to show up for this. You've known for a little while that you were going to be heading to this gala, and that you were going to be given some tasks. So, to represent any sort of like digging that you guys may have wanted to do in the last like week or so leading up to this, like if you guys wanted to do some like knowledge local or knowledge nobility checks to get some background information, you may do that.
Yes. I
Hell
think
yeah.
Both of those.
Okay, so what do we got for knowledges?
Fucking
I've done
26, suck a dick. That was 26 knowledge nobility.
Okay.
18. Carl got an 18.
Vulpus got a 9.
And the madam got 11.
Okay. All right. So, first things first, we'll go through what everyone knows. Obviously, everyone knows that the name of the Emperor of Taldor is he is Grand Prince Stavian III. You all know that Princess Eutropia is the adult daughter of Grand Prince Stavian, as I already stated. But you also know that she has a bit of a scandalous reputation for making trouble and like actually like dueling in the streets with other nobles.
Cool.
And let's see. And that is all that Vulpus knows.
Awesome.
And the rest of you now know that, let's see, referring to Martella Lothide, you know that the wealthy Lothide family has been a strong supporter of the Stavians for almost 100 years. They have a long family tradition of arcane magic, adding to their wealth and prestige that way. And let's see. Carl and Brunswick, you know that, you guys know that Grand Prince Stavian III has no male heir, and that he has refused to have any further children since the tragic death of his only son for some reason. And people are starting to wonder how this is going to affect the succession, since, you know, he's getting up there in age. And you also know...
How old is he?
He's like in his 70s at this point. He's
damn.
not...
So basically dead.
He's not a
All
young
right, so
man.
he's still in his prime.
Why? Because he's a man.
You said it.
You both also know that the Emperor has made no secret of his disdain for his daughter's social crusades, especially her efforts to overthrow primogeniture so that she can inherit the throne. Her dad is not a fan. But he has been uncharacteristically quiet about it for the past year or so. And
Old bitch better keep his mouth shut.
and rumors have been flying that his health is slipping, and that he may have actually just accepted her efforts. You know that Eutropia is a social reformer. She's eager to establish schools and other public resources for the poor, and to remove political or family restrictions for women and various minorities. Rumors have circulated for almost 10 years now that her ultimate goal is to overturn primogeniture, which, again, I already told you. She wants to be the first empress.
So what I'm hearing is Princess Eutropia is woke, and Grand Prince Stavian III is old
He's a boomer.
white is an old white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, cool.
And the last little bit that only Brunswick knows is that Martella is actually a bit of the black sheep in her family. Like, she's not quite a full member of the Lothide family. Like, she's the result of an extramarital affair with a diplomat from Kadira. which is a very long-standing like rival and enemy of Taldor. She lacks her family's like natural gift for magic, and you know that despite that, she still has some wealth and a good amount of contacts, having attended an academy in Taldor, like the Sinora Academy, a very exclusive like school for girls. So despite being the black sheep, she still has some family connections and family wealth.
So the Lothid family supports the current emperor and his family, but
Yes.
he doesn't like Princess Eutropia or want her to ascend to the throne. But Martella is doing that anyway.
Indeed.
Like should that seem strange to me?
It might,
Or-
but at the same point, like, that Martella's always been like the outcast in her own family, so she would be the member of that family to kind of want to see the natural order shaken up a bit.
Would
Like,
she
if-
have her family's support in this, or is she kind of doing this on her own initiative?
That you're not entirely sure of, but you
Okay.
would know that publicly her family stands very much with the Emperor.
Got it. Okay. All right, thanks.
All right. So again, we open on the carriage. Let's see. Yeah, she requested that you meet her an hour before the gala to get together and kind of ride there together. So yeah, we've done the introductions. Oh, but as she kind of like lets you guys familiarize yourself and get going as you're approaching the Senate, she hands out these small badges to each of you. And
we get deputized.
yeah, a little bit. These are what are known as Senate aid badges. So what these do is like they're like very minor magic items, but the badges that she gives to you are they're like really old. Like they're from the old school like Senate days. Like some people still use them, but they've kind of fallen out of fashion, but they have their uses to the point where she has what's known as the Master Senate Aid Badge, or the Master Senator Badge. And from that, she can send out messages to anyone wearing the aid badge that you guys were given.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
So she can like just send out messages, but yeah, after she hands out the Senate aid badge, she kind of explains what it does. That it's just a way for her to keep in touch while everyone is kind of spread out through the party today and schmoozing and everything, so she can keep in touch. Yeah, once the wearer of the aid badge receives a message, you have 1 minute to send a reply of up to 25 words, and you can do that telepathically. So it is
Okay.
a two-way device, but it is limited. You can only do it like 10 times a day or something like that.
Okay, but it is still just limited to, like, my response can't go out to any of the other PCs. It's just back to her.
Right. So after she hands out those badges, and you can like fasten them wherever you choose on your person, she will say, "Overall, tonight promises to be a historic evening, but an evening of work nonetheless. And in the sort of work you're embarking upon, the line that divides success and failure is drawn by the people you know. You have your own tasks to accomplish, but I'm counting on you to support one another to ensure success and discretion. If you need assistance, kindly ask for it. If your assistance is required, give it. And if I'm to be blunt, I would like just once in my adult life to simply enjoy a gala I attend, rather than scamper about with clandestine busywork. If you all complete your work without need of me to clean anything up, I will happily double my promised fee. I trust your activities won't occupy your entire evening, so by all means, enjoy the party and make some friends. This is an excellent opportunity for you to begin your own political ambitions, but do be discreet." And with that, she also hands each of you a sealed note.
And I kind of, brush my hair to the side with my steely blue eyes, looking at her, and I say, "We'll try not to disappoint you. We'll do our best."
I'm sure you will. I'm counting on it.
I give her a sly grin and a nod, and I turn around and begin, like frantically, like opening my sealed letter.
I don't put my badge on because I'm not a dork. So I'll just put mine in my pocket,
Okay.
and then I'll wait until I'm alone to read my note, and I'll do it in the shadows because I'm a ninja.
Got it.
And you are aware that when like I said, when Martella hired you, she did promise you a fee of 150 gold for your services tonight.
Oh, dang!
And again,
Yeah. Or
and
else.
again, she did just she said like if all four of you complete your work without needing her to step in to clean something up for you, she will even double that. So do a good job and you get a little extra, or a lot extra, I guess.
Can I make a knowledge nobility check to see if I have any pre-existing information on the two in my letter?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I would like to do that with mine as well.
Hey, get your own ideas.
I just had that brewing, okay?
And yes, you can do knowledge nobility to see what you know about them.
All right, I got a 17.
Okay. And how about you, Brunswick?
I got an 11.
All right, so yeah. So Brunswick, you are unfamiliar with the subject of your letter.
Do I know what the subject looks like? Or am I just read its name and I'm just like, ooh, okay. Start asking around.
I mean, it's a party. There's going to be a lot of people. It's not going to be hard to find someone to point you in the direction of the guy.
okay.
But let's see. For Madame Ladian, you need information on Duke Centimus and Countess Pace.
Hey, don't tell these fools.
Now I know. Your plan is busted.
I mean,
You
you're
brought
supposed-
interference on my guys.
you are supposed to work together, but I guess that's up to you.
No, that's fine. I wouldn't be pointedly trying to hide in the shadows like some weirdos.
Yeah, shadows.
All right. So, yes, Nick, you know that Countess Pace is a member of the Senate from the western border of Taldor, and she is very ambitious. She looks to advance in status by any means necessary. And for Duke Leonard Centimus, you know that he is an attending Duke of Grand Duchess Cicera Tiberan of the Tandak Prefecture, which is kind of like it's out a ways. It's like the eastern border, kind of near the mountains. But you know that Leonard Centimus is an intellectual and a tinkerer whose head for systems makes him a good administrator, but he's a little awkward around people.
I just imagine Joe finds a little corner and he's in like some sort of dark area. He's just like, fuck, I can't read this.
Muh.
I think he meant the light level, Joe. not your literacy
Oh,
level.
damn it. I forgot I can't read. These instructions don't have any pictures.
Oh man.
Once I'm done reading the letter, man, I wish I had like prepared Spark or something. I'm going to like roll the letter up real tight and open up my cane, pull out the sword, and put the letter inside where like the blade would go, and then put the cane sword back together.
Okay. Hide it in
I don't-
there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to somehow potentially come across this letter, and I think just ripping it up and throwing it on the ground's not the safest either, so I will hide it in my cane.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of put the back of my hair up and take the badge that Martella gave us and use the badge kind of as like a hair clip, like a fancy
Okay.
hair clip.
Like a hairpin.
Yeah.
All right. Da-da-da.
And I'll even turn to Brunswick and say, "Well, how do I look?"
I say glowing as usual.
You're too kind, my friend.
I give you a wink.
Shall we?
Indeed, this party's not going anywhere without us.
So as the carriage kind of pulls up to the Senate, you notice that the Senate is kind of famous for, it literally has like, it's called the 100 Steps, very originally named for the 100 steps that lead up to the building itself. And Martella drops you off kind of at like the bottom of the steps, and you can see that there is like a line of people waiting to get in as the the guards are kind of like checking everyone that's going in. But you also know that,
She couldn't drop us off at the top of the steps?
well, you also know that Martella like kind of gets out at the same time, and she just goes right up the steps and goes in. But the guards stop you guys and tell you to get to the back of the line. You need to be someone of note to bypass the line, and you guys are not.
Or be no one at all, I say as I slink around back. I'm sneaking in. I'm not going through the front door. I'm a fucking ninja. You kidding me?
You stealthing your way in?
Yeah.
All right, I want to
They
see where
turned
this
me
goes.
away? Yeah, they turned me away. I'm
My
out of here.
perception. Can I roll perception to spot Carl with a C? Sneaking
You mean
off?
Carl with a K?
Yeah. I mean, it's both, so it doesn't matter.
Don't blow my cover.
Yeah. If Carl can try his stealth, and yeah, if anyone wants to try and perceive him, feel free.
Now, well, I have a question. Where is Carl with
Fuck.
a K trying to like stealth by? Is he trying to stealth by the guards that just stopped us? Is he like?
I'm gonna go into an open window around back, around the
Okay.
or the right side. I'm gonna jump off these stairs, run through the trees, and then I'm gonna turn up on the side of the building in an open window.
So we're making a perception check to see if we see you head back that way.
Sounds like it.
Yep.
I got a 15.
So what did Carl get on his stealth check?
Oh, it wasn't very good. It was a 11.
Okay, so when I see Carl kind of looking like he's about to do something that I'm gonna regret, because I got a 20 on my perception check.
Oh, god damn it.
I'm gonna turn to one of the guards that are turning us away, and I just kind of flash him a smile, and I say, "I hope you boys get to enjoy tonight as well." And I'd like to make a diplomacy check to kind of charm them.
Is that a threat? That sounds like a threat.
You trying
Ooh, is
to
that a threat? I didn't want it to be a threat.
you trying to like distract them so that Carl can get around?
Yes, I want their attention on. I don't want their attention on Carl right now, and also I want to, like, I do want them to be kind of. I don't want them to be like my best friend or anything, but I'm trying to make them a little bit more at ease. Maybe like get them.
You're at a fancy party. You're
uh,
schmoozing already. You're not even in the
I'm trying to
freaking building.
I'm trying to schmooze the guards because I have a feeling that the guards might be an important ally tonight.
well, let's see what you got.
Can I do that at diplomacy check? All right, here we go.
That's precisely why I
Fucking-
ran away
I-
from them. That's a big roll.
Fucking 27.
Oh.
Suck on that.
So the guard that you're talking to, when you start talking to him, he kind of like looks around, like you get the idea. Maybe he's looking like, is my, is my sergeant nearby, something like that, and then he just kind of gives you a sigh, like, I don't get to enjoy any of this. I'm out here dealing with these jackasses trying to do that. Hey, get that guy! And he points off to the side as he catches sight of Carl trying to sneak around the side.
God damn it.
And
Get that guy.
all right.
and you see like a guard come around the corner from where Carl was trying to sneak off to, and just kind of like
Fuck.
bar his way and just kind of like motion for him to get back in line. Like there's no shortcuts.
And
I'm
say,
out of there. No way.
And I turn back. I turn around to see who he's talking about. I see that it's Carl with a K, and I turn back to the guard, and I say, "Well, any disturbances that the guard captain doesn't need to know about is probably better off for you, I'd assume."
If I had to tell him about every little disturbance out here, I'd be there for hours.
I can only imagine. Well, I'll see if I can slip a goblet out to you sometime later tonight. You guys deserve it.
Well, I don't know if I'll have time tonight, but appreciate the thought.
Dang, that was smooth, Alex.
Oh, thanks.
When you're not killing people, you're a good role player.
Try.
Vulpus. Who's the people that are in front of me? Do we recognize anybody on this line?
You would probably spot like maybe like a minor noble here and there that you've caught a rumor of, but these are not any like really people of note in the political world. These are people that are kind of in the same position as you. They're either like they're aides or they're trying to get into this party so they can, you know, bump elbows with, you know, the most powerful people in Taldor to try and get some political power, some sway out of it.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually perfect. Like, my goal isn't to go to the top tier people quite yet. And if we're waiting on this line, like either way, I kind of want to get, you know, cracking on some storytelling. So Vulpus kind of just turns to the rest of the group, and inside of like his majestic voice, gather round, everyone. I got a little bit of a story to tell you. And his ultimate goal is to tell stories based around this mythical figure who slightly resembles what's her name? I have it in my notes.
The princess?
Yeah. That slightly resembles Princess Eutropia. And he's just gonna go off on that in hopes that, you know.
So you're basically like, you're singing propaganda songs for the princess.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, Vulpus like pulls out his guitar, starts strumming along.
And am I gonna roll that?
Yeah, go ahead and roll to perform.
All right. Oh no, not the greatest
Well,
song.
Tune your guitar, god damn it.
It's an 8.
Ooh, yeah. So I don't know if you're just rusty or maybe it's a little nippy in the cold air, or maybe your guitar is just not completely tuned yet. But
I don't know. Sounds like nerves to me.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of like, it's not the worst performance, but it's definitely more people seem annoyed than entertained. You know, this is like the equivalent of walking through the subway and there's like that guy playing the guitar, but he's just not that good.
I gotcha. Like, this was my test performance. You know, I really wanted to get in there and make a difference.
Yeah.
Not out here. Fuck these small people.
A couple people actually toss a couple copper pieces at your feet.
I pick them up.
As you should.
I do. I mean, copper is pretty big.
All right. So, how about it? Does Carl end up joining the line, or are you going to keep trying to sneak in?
What? Did they stop me and bring me back for real?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't all in your
That
head.
was a joke.
Bullshit. No, I like totally play it off like real cool. Like, oh, like I was just going to take a piss. You thought I was.
You got it.
You thought I was getting out of line, and no. I'm back in line. Cooler than ever, some would say.
All right. So you guys you're in line for like quite a while. There's quite a few people ahead of you, and these guards are not in any sort of hurry to like process everyone and get them in. And as you're waiting, there's actually like a few like peddlers and merchants walking around trying to sell, like, think of the guys that walk around parades selling like those really cheap shitty like toys and like little plastic horns and junk. Yeah, there's like a few of those guys walking around like the line just like trying to hawk their wares. And for the most part, everyone's ignoring them.
I also
Except for Carl.
Uh-oh.
He loves that shit. Nah, just kidding. I'm too cool for it.
You know, it would help me
I was
sneak
But
in.
in real life, I
Horror.
do.
I was expecting you to pick their pockets.
Yeah, I don't want to push it too hard. Get my hand chopped
Get
off
caught.
in the first episode.
Get caught sneaking around. Okay, I won't do that. Instead.
Well, as long as you don't murder someone, you're improving.
Well, I've got my poisons on me, so
Yeah. And also, while you guys are standing in line, like there's a guard that like every now and then like the guards just kind of like walking the line, just like to make sure that people don't get too rowdy, and you can hear them like kind of like shouting out just the general rules of the Senate, like the rules that everyone's expected to abide by once they get inside. The gist of it is like you can wear like a breastplate or like some ceremonial armor or light armor, but nothing heavier than that is allowed in the building except for guards. You can have any like potions or scrolls or spell component pouches that you have or wands. Those are all permitted in, and in fact, you would know that many of the senators themselves are spellcasters. Spellcasting is, especially like knowledgeable, studied arcane spellcasting, is seen as a very prestigious thing within the Taldan Empire. But you do know that spellcasting is not permitted within the Senate building without written approval.
Oh, damn it.
which
Okay.
approval is usually issued to like entertainers that were specifically hired for this event. So like you will see you will probably see entertainers inside performing magic tricks for people, but no, Tom, that does not extend to you because you were not hired for this event
I'll
officially.
figure it out. I'll get there.
He
Duh,
got so
Tom.
excited. I could hear the smile going across his
Oh,
face.
it's there.
What about stealth checks? Are those allowed?
Only if you
I mean,
can do them.
I mean, yeah, only if you get caught. Or only if you don't get
They're
caught.
only
I
allowed
guess.
if you get caught?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Only light and one-handed weapons are allowed inside the Senate building. Ranged weapons and two-handed weapons are not allowed inside. And all weapons that are brought in must be peace-bound, which means they wrap them in like a decorative string, and like it doesn't mean that you can't use them, but it makes it more difficult. It then requires a full round action to draw a weapon that is bound in this way. And if the guards find you with your with the bindings like broken, that's a big no-no. Like you're probably gonna get thrown out if they find you with like your weapons like with proof that you have drawn your weapons. Animals are generally not permitted inside except for familiars and like service animals. Doesn't really apply to you guys. While guests are free to roam the building when invited, individual senators' offices are off limits and locked for the event. No one but the senators and a single aide for each is permitted on the Senate floor during the vote itself. But you would know that there is an extensive gallery, and if you look on the map, A6 is the Senate floor, and that ring around it is like the gallery where there are like viewing seats and stuff for other aides and people that are just there to watch the vote.
Got it.
Okay.
While we're being ushered up, I kind of want to, like, if it's the same guard as I spoke to before, then preferably him. But if it's a different guard, I want to just kind of like casually turn to a guard and like kind of excitedly be like, "Excuse me, do you know if Baron O'Cara is in the building yet?"
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be here tonight. I haven't seen him come in yet myself.
Oh, I'll keep my eyes peeled then.
Have the guards like actually checked us yet?
No, you've been standing in line for probably about an hour at this point, and you've probably gotten about maybe like halfway from where you were towards the entrance.
So we basically have another hour, you're saying?
That's what I would be saying, except at this point, a female guard walks up, and she walks up to the four of you, kind of like points, like motions to all four of you together and says, "You, come with me." And then she pulls you out of line and off to the side.
Okay. Can I?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
Can I sense motive?
Sure.
Okay.
That's probably a good idea, huh?
I trust her.
All right. What's my sense motive look like?
The madam got a 19.
Okay.
I got an 8.
Well, as far as you guys can tell for right now, this just seems like a random spot check.
All right.
Once she gets you guys kind of away from the crowd and away from prying ears, she introduces herself. She says, "Greetings. My name is Cathan Zalar. I'm here on behalf of a common friend who is growing rather impatient. But as a member of the Senate's protection detail, I have certain privileges here. So, you four, come with me." And she literally just starts. She turns without waiting for a response and starts walking right up the steps.
I follow her.
Oh, thank
Oh,
God.
I
I was just
follow.
about to try and bribe the next guard that came by to get us to the front.
Okay.
Brunswick. He's
All right,
not.
So
He's not coy about it. He's like, "Oh, member of Senate's protection detail." And he kind of like looks at He looks at like the other three like with this look of like, I see what's going on. He's like, oh, okay, so we're special. We're going up. It's all good. And I'm like not being casual about it at all.
Okay.
You're so cool.
All right. So she kind of like escorts you guys up the steps and pauses by the front door and like just motions for the four of you to enter.
Before
We
entering, I
cool, we
stop
cool.
and I look back at the other guys and like I might as well wink, and then I turn back and I enter.
He kind of gives you a little grin and like a very tiny nod, and then goes back to looking over the crowd. All right. So you guys have entered the Senate, and from here, movement within the Senate is going to be pretty much, you're pretty well free to roam around wherever you will. So I'll give you just a quick rundown of all the areas here. Obviously, first area A1 is where you're coming in, and that is it's called the Arcade of Triumphs.
Oh, nice. They got video games?
Oh, sick.
It is a hall that is just lined and filled with like banners and like trophies, and just like this is like a monument to the glory of Taldor's past. Like there's artifacts belonging to like great heroes and soldiers, and there's like probably about 20 guardsmen just standing at attention in this room, and they're kind of like both as actual guards and as just like a ceremonial presence for this entrance to the Senate.
Without thinking, Brunswick is going to start detecting magic, looking at all these amazing artifacts.
You would immediately be admonished by one of the guards, like, "Hey, no magic, no spellcasting."
I immediately stop. Apologies, it's my first time seeing so many amazing artifacts in one place.
Yes, don't let it happen again.
All right, I shuffle over to the skee ball.
I start detecting magic. No, I don't.
Don't make me throw you out of here. And then let's see. Next up is area A2. That's just the next area forward. That is the courtyard. This is just like a very well kept garden. And let's see, this is like catered patios. There's like short iron fences with military displays, and even there's like a little like zoo of like imported animals and some magical beasts, including a small hive of bees that they keep here to pollinate all the flowers to keep them looking all nice and fresh and pretty.
I steer clear of the bees.
Area A3 up here is called the Emperor's Hall. It's just like it's a space like, right before the Senate chamber. It's kind of like it's the Emperor's like private office within the Senate. And you probably know he doesn't spend a lot of time coming over to the Senate for votes and whatnot, but like when he does, like that's his area. That's where that's like his office is his area.
So we're not allowed in there.
Right. Area A4, which is not on the map, not listed on the map, but it's the gallery. It's like this ring of like seats and like just this area around A6, the Senate floor, and that's just you can see that there's a bunch. It's the observation deck. You can see that there's a lot of like entertainers and kids hanging out up there. Like it seems to be almost like kind of like the daycare area, but it's also just where the entertainment happens to be. So that's just where the kids gravitate to. A5 to the north here is the Imperial Archives, and this is what could have been Golarion's greatest collection of transcribed knowledge had any care at all been invested into its upkeep. So, like over the centuries, just like funding keeps getting taken away, and like different senators will take out like quote sensitive information from certain books that they don't want being like public access. And now this library, while still large and impressive, is mostly a repository for haphazardly curated books. Senate minutes, records of Senate stuff, some genealogy records, stuff like that. Let's see. And then area A6, I described that is the Senate floor. And, during, like, you guys can go and kind of roam around there right now during the gala, but later on tonight when they hold the vote, only the senators and a single aide for each senator is allowed on the floor. Let's see. Down to the south, we got area A7, which is the final area for now. That is the servant area. So it's servants' quarters. It's it's the kitchens. It's it's where the help hang out.
Where's the fruit punch? I got poisoning to do.
Probably in the servant area.
Doesn't tell the rest of us. We just drink from it.
Now to go over the NPCs that you guys can see walking around here. And it's pretty easy to pick them out, especially once you're in there. You'll hear names whispered and associated with each person kind of as you're walking by. Like they're like, these are very prominent people within the Senate, and they're going to be easily known to you. In area A1, the gentleman there is known as Maxillar Pitharius. Maxillar Pitharius is what's known as the High Strategos of Taldor. He is like the head of Taldor's military. Let's see. In area A2 in the courtyard, you can see standing over by the pond is Princess Eutropia Stavian, and nearby, but a bit off to the side, is the Lady Gloriana Moria.
How deep
I
is
imagine-
that pond, and are they strong swimmers?
It's not that deep. It's like a koi pond. It's like it's more decorative than anything.
That's about as deep as the mast helmet drowned in.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
deep cuts.
I'm just saying, it's deep enough to kill.
I imagine all these super important NPCs are like surrounded by other people. They're not just like standing off.
Oh yeah, like
On
this
their
whole
own, like-
place is like filled with people. Like there are
Got it,
crowds
okay.
around all of these like fairly major people in Taldor.
Got it.
So yeah, Lady Gloriana Maria.
Yeah, what's her deal? She sounds like a bitch to me.
Yeah, she is mostly just known for being like, she is very outspoken as one of like Princess Eutropia's like strongest allies. Like she is one that like she very firmly believes in like getting rid of primogeniture and all this. Like she has been very steadfast in her support of Eutropia.
So the complete opposite of what I said.
Yes. Let's see. In A4 in the gallery surrounding the Senate floor, you see Countess Abrielle Pace, who Brunswick knows about, but she's just a very ambitious noble. And the other one is, I mean, you'll come to know this more as we go, but her name is Wisilka the Fantabulous. She is an entertainer, and she probably has like the biggest crowd around her, especially of like children.
So that's Vulpus's main competitor.
Yes, and she is unaware of his existence.
As
the
that
best
usually
part.
goes with arch nemesis.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Up in area A5, in the archive, that is where Duke Leonard Centimus is hanging out. In A6, on the floor of the Senate, the guy on the left is Calbio of Breezy Creek. He's the one that is going to be granted a title of nobility tonight.
Maybe.
If he's alive.
If he doesn't have an unfortunate punch accident.
This punch is delicious.
It's to die for.
And the gentleman on the right on the Senate floor is Baron Nicholas O'Cara.
I like this guy.
So that is what you have for now. Now that we've got the stage set, we should go through how this next whole portion is going to work. Now that we are in the Senate, we are going to go into kind of the modified version of social combat that this AP is using.
Oh.
So the way social combat works in this, so you guys are going to have what are known as social rounds, and each social round represents about 15 minutes of time passing in the game. And in that round, you have like a few options on what to do. Moving through the Senate is generally like you're free to move around. You're not, for the most part, you're not going to be like hindered or stopped or anything unless you're doing something, that's going to draw attention to yourself in a bad way. But during those social rounds, you can choose to influence an area. So like you just choose one of the areas you're in. If you're in like the archives, you're in area A5, you're basically just like gathering goodwill among everyone in that area by like schmoozing and just knocking around. And that is each area has its own skill check that is going to be represented with it. And, if you choose to influence the area, I'll let you know what skill checks are needed for that area. You can choose to influence an individual NPC. Generally speaking, that's just the ones that are marked on the map, even though there are a lot of NPCs here. And to do that, that's a bit more in-depth. Before you can influence an NPC, you're going to probably want to spend a social round doing what's called a discovery check. That is, again, it's usually going to be a sense motive or a knowledge nobility check, but there are some exceptions, and that will give you a bit of insight into that NPC's thoughts and likes and dislikes, so you can kind of like talk them up a little bit. From there, you could then spend more social rounds to influence those NPCs. Like, I think Brunswick's mission is to kind of cozy up to Baron Nicholas Akera. So he's going to need to spend some time, winning his approval for the night and making an impression. So, like, he's probably going to want to start with 1 or 2 social rounds of discovery checks to kind of, like, speak with other people around and, like, it's a way to gather information on the guy so that when you go to talk to him, you're not just standing there like an idiot and don't know, It's a way to know where to start the conversation to kind of get in their good graces.
Yeah. The way I understand it, this is pretty similar to how it's written out in like the Ultimate Intrigue book. It's like you can have a diplomatic character and they can just walk up to anybody and be like, "How's the weather?" and like hit it right off. But not everybody is diplomatic, and not everybody responds well to small talk. So you can go up to a merchant and be like, "So I heard that canal got clogged with a giant fucking boat. That's crazy, right?" And the merchant will respond more positively to that than if you're just like, "How's the weather?" Yeah,
that'd be the merchant like, "Yeah, I know. I lost like 3 shipments doing that." It's a good way. It's a good conversation starter.
Right. And yeah, so the discovery checks are your way to kind of get a read on other NPCs' interests and social tendencies.
Yes. So then you can attempt like influence checks. Like once you could attempt the influence checks kind of however, but if you've done the discovery, you kind of you'll know what is the best approach for different NPCs, and you can even get yourself like a bit of a bonus using certain skills on certain NPCs. Usually each NPC here needs either like 2 or 3 successful influence checks to kind of like make a good impression.
And is it 1 social round per check?
Yes. So like the discovery check is 1 social round. 1 influence check is 1 social round.
So I'd be kind of looking at like an hour of my time to just like hone in on my guy, get a read on him, and then go engage him and get 2 or 3 successful checks to get him friendly with me. This is like the general.
It's 15 minutes around. So
yeah.
Okay.
Now, do I feel like we're pressed for time on this? Like, Or is
no,
it kind
I can tell you
of
right
like
now, you are going to have more than enough time to do whatever you would like in this.
Okay, because
this
Brunswick isn't. He has a kind of another idea of what he wants to start doing before immediately going up to his guy. But I'll wait until everybody's
like you are definitely going to have enough time to do whatever you would like to do.
Got it. Okay.
And yeah,
You thinking about poisoning people? You can tell me.
Yeah, so no, I'm not. But I am remembering how we were told to kind of work together and do a good job as a team. And when I saw of the 4 of us, I kind of saw Carl being like the most out of his depth.
What?
Just with the one impression, because
first impression was not a great first impression.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
How
I
dare
have to
you.
wait in line. I'm gonna do my own thing, and just immediately gets in trouble. So Brunswick's gonna, unless he already lost track of him because he's so sneaky. Brunswick's gonna kind of find Carl and say, "So, Carl, do you feel comfortable with the mission you were given?"
I'm always comfortable. What's it to you?
Well, I was thinking I could lend an assist. We can kind of work together on this.
I pull out a vial of poison and I shake it.
I
Give it
like
a wink.
I immediately like cover it up with my hands and your hands and like look around, like make sure nobody saw the fucking vial of poison.
Joe, did you even read what
Okay.
your task is?
Yeah, I did. And so now's the point in game when I'm actually going to read my task.
Okay.
So as he's talking to me, I kind of
So what are you doing?
take his I take that to heart and all right. Let's see what I'm supposed to do. Crinkle, crinkle, open.
I
read.
start
Oh
panicking
my
a little
God.
bit.
he brought poison inside. He brought the incriminating evidence inside.
Yeah, hold on. Was he not searched and like had that poison? Like,
No,
taken
because
away
we
from
skipped
him?
the line.
We skipped the line.
God.
Yeah,
All right,
Brunswick's
here's the deal.
really kind of like the room's kind of spinning for him right now.
I can't believe you're reading this letter in the middle of the party. I was
Well, I'm
so
just reading
nervous
it to-
about it, I hit it, and you're like, "Oh no, here we go, Senate floor."
Listen, Brunny, here's the deal. I gotta go around and just keep my eyes and ears peeled. I'm supposed to be running messages or documents or some bullshit. You know that's not my style. So, I'm gonna strike while the iron's hot, and until it's hot, just wait for it to heat up. What are you doing?
I kind of
Realizing I have no idea what you're doing. Mine is basically just walk around, and if people tell secrets out in the open like I'm doing, then eavesdrop them.
okay.
And I might have to deliver documents and messages at some point. But until then, I'm just sort of keep my ears and eyes peeled.
I kind of gave you that look, that sideways look when you called me Brunny. Like what's the dad's name from that '70s show? Red. Yeah, like the
Red,
meme where he's
yeah.
like looking at you from like behind the newspaper. I think that's him.
The foot up your ass.
Yeah,
kind
I
of,
kind of give you that look when you
stare.
call me Brunny, but I let you finish, and I say, well, as it happens, I have been tasked with finding Baron Okara and getting him on our side, making him happy, and I kind of like jerk my head to the side and like kind of point him out to you without like pointing. He's the guy in A6, he's the black fellow with like the cool coat.
Yeah, I clocked him as soon as we got in.
Like on the
I got to
head.
read on everyone here. Yeah, I hit him with a grandfather clock as soon as I walked in.
Oh my god. If I hear any hot gossip, I'll be sure to flag you down so you can try to get in on the action.
My first target's actually going to be Brunswick's target. I'm going to go see if I can sneak around and eavesdrop on him
All right.
while
Well-
his guard is down.
Well, let's see. I was just gonna say, as we're getting started here, you guys just got in. You're acclimating yourself to the Senate building and kind of like moseying around. Right here, you all have one social round right now, but you can only use it to like influence an area if you wish. Like you haven't quite gotten the festivities heavily underway, so like. Yeah, we're not delving into like the discovery checks and
Okay.
like, the more
gotcha.
specific influence, but anyone who wants to kind of start schmoozing in a particular area can attempt to now.
Oh, I'm absolutely.
Now, I just saw a note
schmoozing.
that I'm supposed to meet up with Martella as well.
Yes.
Okay. So that'll actually be my first order of business.
Okay.
Okay. And like working a room, what check is that again?
Depends on the room.
Well, I will be an A6.
So yes, in here, I already said there's Baron Nicholas Akara and Calbio from Breezy Creek. Your skill options here, you can do bluff, you can do knowledge, local, nobility, or religion. You could do a perform oratory. You could do a profession clerk or barrister, or you can do a sense motive.
I'm gonna go with a knowledge local check.
All right.
Oh, I got a 24.
24. That is that's pretty damn good. All right. So you, as this party is getting, warmed up, there's more people, and you can hear like quite a few like good-natured debates breaking out. Like, these are almost like academics debating, high-minded rhetoric as if it doesn't actually affect real people.
Okay.
And let's see, you have like you kind of like jump like one of them starts talking about something that Brunswick is pretty knowledgeable about, so you actually manage to jump in and you make a good showing in our debate. And by doing so, you can choose any one skill from the list that I just had for this area and use it for a different area where you normally couldn't. So
Oh, wonderful.
So like because you did well here, you can then choose one of those skills to use elsewhere if you wish.
Okay. Kind of like word spread, like, yo, I heard that nobody, Brunswick, is kicking ass in area A6, and then I come over to A2, and I got like a little bit of reputation.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right.
Do I have to pick which skill that is now, or like just later anytime?
You can pick it later.
Okay, cool.
Can I do the same in A2?
Yep. You can choose here to the options here are handle animal, knowledge, engineering, local, or nature, and perform keyboard, percussion, sing, string, or wind.
Oh, god damn it, I have none of this. Well, I don't have any of the knowledges, so I guess I have to do a handle animal.
If that's your choice.
Surprisingly, I have a +4 in this, but alright.
Yeah, it's pure charisma.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, got a 13.
Okay.
Slightly above average.
Yeah. Well, you haven't quite made the impression that Brunswick did on the Senate floor, but you've gathered some attention with like your knowledge of some of like the more exotic animals in the area. Like you get some people noticing that like you kind of know your way around when trying to handle an unfamiliar beast. So yeah, you get a little recognition there. Let's see, Carl or Carl, you were going to meet with Martella, correct?
Yeah, I was just gonna meet up with Martella.
Okay. So you meet up with her, and she hands you a sealed letter and directs you to deliver it to a man by the name of Count Orlando Zespire in the archives.
Okay.
So that will be your first task. Vulpus, where do you want to try influencing somewhere?
Yeah, you know what? I want to go into the garden there. That's the entertainment section, right?
The bigger entertainment section is the gallery, which is it's A4, but it's unmarked on the map. It's like surrounding the Senate floor and like above. But there are also entertainers in the courtyard in A2 that are around.
Yeah, you know what? Let's. I'm gonna stay in. A2, because I don't want to stray too far from other people, and I have a feeling that Madame Ladian has a very similar task to me. So I'm actually gonna start strumming up the guitar, and of course it's gonna be in a propaganda way, shape, or form. Just wondering, is this where the kids are?
No, the kids are in A4. They're in the gallery.
Yeah. The better business decision for Vulpus would have been to go to the gallery.
I thought that's where we were. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna go to the gallery. I apologize.
No, you're good. Yeah,
that makes sense too. Like, that's where he needs to be showing off, right?
Right.
You gotta make sure your nemesis actually notices you this time.
All right. So in the gallery, the skills that you can work with here are acrobatics, disguise, perform act, comedy, or dance, or sleight of hand.
Oh, so no. All right. Not much of a comedian, but but it is a straight charisma, wouldn't it be?
Yeah. So you have acrobatics. I think your disguise is probably pretty good.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do disguise. Is that like? Is this for entertainment purposes, or is this just like flat out like just trying to sneak around kind of thing?
I mean, it's kind of up to you. I was gonna play it off as like you set up a little like face painting stand and start like making some of the kids look funny. Which
I would also
kids love that shit.
I could also see it
crocodile.
interpreted as like maybe like a little improv like breaks out, and like disguise represents your skill and like kind of keeping up with
So
a scene.
I was actually gonna like, I mean, can I do is supernatural or spell-like abilities?
Spell-like abilities are probably going to be a no-no. They'd fall under the no spellcasting rule, but supernatural would be fine if that's what you have.
All right. I'm just gonna do I'm just gonna do like a little comedy skit, and kind of really have fun with it. Tell a few jokes that are both kid-friendly, and the adults are in the room. They can pick up on like some adult humor, but of course it's got to be like, something dirty, something sleazy happening in the background that's political.
So I was saying, or like the Pixar route.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There you go. So that's just a straight D20 plus 4 right there.
Okay, let's see it.
All right. Okay. A 17.
17. Well, that is not bad. You get a similar reaction to what Madame Ladian got in the courtyard. Like you definitely didn't make a fool out of yourself. Well, you didn't make a fool out of yourself in a bad way, since you're being a comedian.
Yeah, sure.
Like you get some approving. You get some nice chuckles, a couple hearty guffaws, and the small crowd that you gathered to watch your little performance walks away pleased.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. And now with the first social round done, anyone, at this point it's just Madame Ladian. You would see Lady Gloriana Maria just kind of like, she holds up her glass and just starts like tapping it with a fork, just getting everyone's attention. And she addresses everyone within hearing distance that Princess Eutropia would like to address the crowd and say a few words. And like, this news just like spreads like wildfire through the Senate. Like the whispers, you could almost see them rippling out like a wave from this area. So like within a minute, everyone, all of you guys know that Princess Eutropia is gonna say a few words. So if you would like to,
she's in the garden, right?
Yes. So anyone who wants to head to the courtyard to listen is welcome to.
Yep.
What's
definitely going?
I got a front row seat for this.
What's my guy doing when he hears that? Baron
Akara? He's still just
Yeah.
gonna hang out on the Senate floor.
All right. I make a note of that, and I kind of look longingly at my objective, but then I leave and go to the garden.
Okay.
Can I make a perception check to see if either of my two targets show up?
It would be pretty obvious if they did, and they do not.
I get in the
So,
garden, I
one-
sidle up next to Carl, and I give him a nod and say, "Any leads?"
Nothing yet.
Before I get started, I would like a perception check from everyone.
So that's a 16 perception from Old Brunswick.
The madam got a 12.
Carl with the 22, baby.
Ooh. And Vulpus?
Vulpus got a 10.
10. All right. So well, all right. We're going to start the speech, and then we'll go from there. So with those perceptions in mind, Lady Eutropia kind of stands up onto the edge of the pond so that she's, got a little bit of a stage to address the crowd from. She begins speaking. She says, "My friends, colleagues, and assorted enemies, it is wonderful to see you all out in your finery beneath the beautiful stars tonight. With any luck, the weather will be the only thing that refuses to change this evening. We have all gathered here tonight to honor Master Calbio of Breezy Creek, a master artisan and true patriot for his exquisite skill and service to our glorious empire. Master Calbio demonstrates so eloquently that a heart may be noble regardless of the stature of one's birth, and while it may be premature, I hope to be the first to congratulate you, sir, on the exaltation you will see tonight, and welcome you into the ranks of Taldor's long-lived aristocracy." And at this point, Brunswick and Carl, from their vantage off to the side, you guys would notice a servant who appeared to have been watching the speech kind of like breaks away and starts walking towards the apiary at the edge of the courtyard.
Hmm.
I give
And
Carl a nudge when I see that.
And Carl specifically sees that the servant seems to be holding something in his hand. It seems like a strangely colored like bar that like alchemists might use.
Very interesting. I go over there.
Okay. What do you do?
I stay with Carl. Just gotta. And you said towards the aviary. What number is that?
It's still in this area. It's just like over to the like the eastern side.
Ah, okay.
If they start doing something untoward, can I have an action? Stop them?
Yeah, like if you want to like confront them to see what they're doing, you can do that. Or if you just want to watch and like and kind of like see what's happening, you can do that.
I'm just gonna watch and wait for now, but as soon as they start doing something fishy, karate chop ninja stuff.
It's a servant, you said?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to approach the servant and say, "Excuse me, when can I be expecting another drink?"
Servant's like, he looks very nervous, like he was not expecting anyone to interrupt him right now.
What's the matter? You seem a bit out of sorts.
I don't know nothing. They just gave me the money. That was all.
I'm a little nervous right now because I have no idea what the fuck Carl is about to do with this.
All right, and I'll stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you
Here
right
comes
there.
the poison.
When he says, "Oh, what? I didn't do anything. They just gave us the money." I, just like Batman might do, I appear in front of him. I just stand up right in between you two in front of him.
I stumble
the
back,
money?
quite startled.
Who gave you the money?
I don't know. It was one of the guards.
Which guard?
Money to do
I don't
what?
know. They all kind of look the same in their armor.
They do kind of look the same.
Money to do what?
No,
What's in your hand?
They just gave me this thing, and he holds up, like it looks like an alchemical something.
Can I make a knowledge check on it?
You can do a craft alchemy or knowledge nature.
Ooh.
And he says, I don't know. They just gave me this and told me to put it by the beehives.
I don't have knowledge nature or craft alchemy. I'm hoping the ninja who's good with poisons has craft alchemy or knowledge nature.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Remember that for next level.
I'll just have to natty a 20.
You got it. You got it.
Well, can I?
The
you
new
fucking kidding me?
Devon. Natural 20.
Oh, it's too bad you're untrained and can't actually make that check.
Oh my god!
What if that was not the epitome of a Joe turn?
Wait. Let me roll it 2 more times. If I roll 3 20s, then I can use it.
I would allow that.
It's only fair.
That sounds reasonable, Matt.
Yeah, let's see it. That appears to
Okay.
not be another natural 20. So you guys have no idea what this thing is, but this guy says he was paid to put it near the beehives.
Oh, I wanted to stay away from the bees in general too. Man, I'm gonna say that's fine, son, but I'll take it from here, and I'm gonna very, very nervously, kind of like looking sideways back at that group of very important people and probably guards, and kind of like hold my hand out for this servant to hand me that thing, so I can have somebody else take a look at it who might know what it is.
All right. While you've got your hand out for the poison, I put my hand out for the money.
Nice.
I'm
Crime
throwing
doesn't pay.
I'm throwing mad eyes at Carl. Like, dude, just stop, please.
Carl doesn't heed your looks. He's about to get paid.
Real quick, while Carl's robbing a peasant, I'm going to make a quick sense motive check on what the princess said.
Oh, wow.
I got 25 on that sense motive.
All right. Well, her speech is actually still going on. Like, this is
Okay.
kind of like these guys. Like, I'll read the rest of her speech in a second.
Yep.
And then I'll tell you how that came out. But yeah, the servant he hands over the wafer, like, no questions. Like, you can tell he was really nervous about doing it in the first place. So like, you just kind of gave him an excuse to not have to do it.
All right.
When Carl holds out a hand, the guy looks at it like confused, like, I don't know what else you want. I already gave you the thing.
The money. Come on.
Oh, but please, my wife needs medicine and
Intimidate. Intimidate.
Such masterful role play.
Yeah, is that what you say?
He's like a Dalek. Intimidate.
Listen,
Personally, that would
I operate
intimidate
from
me.
the shadows.
If I'm being honest.
I know all about what it's like.
The princess is up there trying to give a speech, and then off in the back you just hear,
Intimidate.
No, I'm doing it mad tactfully and cool, like a ninja would.
Right.
Intimidate.
Imagine
Hey, guy,
Batman was mugging
intimidate.
somebody. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know,
As he
Batman tends
does.
to make a scene.
So you're shaking him, going, "Why aren't you intimidated?"
Not quite on the Batman on the nose, but
I'm gonna kind of
yes, that is.
try to put myself. I'm trying to be as delicate as possible here. So if Carl if he resists what I'm doing at all, I'm just gonna get out of the way. But I kind of put a hand on his on his chest and kind of put myself between him and the servant. Say, listen, Carl. Martella said that she would be paying us pretty well if we did a good job here. Let's try to not make a scene and figure out whatever this is. Just let this poor.
And we're just gonna let this bastard get away with it? With the money? Crime doesn't pay, friend. And I look back at him again with my hand out.
While mugging him.
Well, mugging. Shut up, Matt. He doesn't know I'm mugging him.
I think he knows.
Yes, he does. He's like, give me the money.
It's a polite, circumstantial mugging, all right? I don't know what you guys are on about.
Joe's actually gonna go put whatever it is in the garden. It's like, I'm doing the job for you.
I'm not
Convinced
trying to steal his work, but dude, if someone all right, so someone mugs you, right, and then they get caught, you take the ill-gotten gains from them, right? I mean, you don't just get out of here. You gotta wrest it from them. So sorry, but them's the rules. Give me.
But you're not arresting this guy. You're mugging this guy.
Yeah, you don't have the authority to arrest him.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that.
Yes, he does.
there are
He's
guards
a servant. He's a low class. Who cares?
who works in a building that's got its own guard.
I'm not
network.
arguing against can you mug him. Just understand you're mugging him.
A bit. I'm mugging him a bit.
All right.
Confident
All
that
right.
he has no control over this situation at this point. Brunswick is just kind of send one last apologetic look at the servant and then refocus on what Lady Eutropia is saying, unless she's
Alright.
already finished her speech by this point.
Exactly.
She would definitely be probably finishing up as you turn back. And with that intimidate check, it wasn't particularly intimidating, but this guy's already afraid for his job. So he shakily reaches into his pocket and hands you 15 silver pieces that he was paid to do this.
Wow.
Now, don't let me see you around here again.
The place that he works?
That's what I was thinking.
Dude, let the cool lines just be cool. Don't worry about what they
Sorry.
mean. Just let me say what I
Got it.
say.
My mistake.
I think you should try and hire him to poison the punch. Say for 15 silver.
Oh my god, Nick, come on.
Anyway,
That's not a bad idea. I walk away from the situation, but now you got me thinking.
all right. So while this is going on, Princess Eutropia has been continuing her speech. So Vulpes and Madame Ladian, you are still paying attention, and she continues. We gather here to discuss matters of state as well. And just as the exaltation reminds us that our glorious empire must always look out into the world to refresh the greatness of its leadership, we must all look out into the world around us and see how it has grown. The child nations of our empire birthed Andoran, Cheliax, Lastwall. They have grown strong by examining the great traditions they inherited from us and embracing those relevant to this new world while discarding those that held them back. So too shall we, this very night, examine one of Taldor's oldest traditions, primogeniture, with eyes wide open, to determine whether it has held us back from the glory and stability our wayward states have found. Our obligation tonight is not about one person or one vote in the Senate. It is about the nation we love and about ensuring that nation does not fall behind the times. We are the inheritors of the mighty Aslant, and I say we must work together to avoid sharing that old empire's fate. Taldor endures! And like that Taldor endures line is kind of where like Brunswick turns back to the speech just to catch like that last little bit.
Yeah. All right, I hear that, and I join in the applause that I assume follows.
Yes, like the crowd is. It's not as much as you might expect because this is kind of a controversial vote. So like there are some people that are kind of like very raucously cheering, and then there's a lot of people that are just like standing there with their arms crossed, looking kind of pissed.
Yeah, the madam would give a delicate applaud.
And as everybody's applauding, Brunswick turns back to Carl, just kind of like shaking his head a little bit, and he says, "Those 15 silver pieces really feel that heavy in your hand?"
So I sort of shake the silver in my hand and I say, yeah, you know what? I got an idea. And I beckon you to come over with me to that servant again.
Oh,
hey, buddy.
I don't wanna.
Oh, what do you want
Get
now?
over here. Listen, I got a job for you.
What is it?
I need you to be my eyes and ears. And not because I'm incompetent and can't do it. I don't say that part. But just so the listeners know. I give him 15 silver pieces, and then I give him an extra 15 silver pieces on top of it. And I say, here's what I need you to do. You hear anything about... Am I listening for anything in particular?
No. You guys are aware that, like, you all have your assorted tasks that you were individually given, but you all are also aware that, for the most part, those jobs are not going to take up your entire night. So, like, when you're not actively pursuing your allotted task, you're free to just do whatever you choose with the time that you have.
So I need you to go around and get me intel. Anything. You just keep your ears peeled, you come back to me, you tell me what you've heard. Deal?
I'd like to back up Carl on this and say, consider this the most important job you've ever had.
All right. So, Carl, I would like a diplomacy check, and Brunswick, you can assist.
Got it.
Come on, big money, no whammies. No! Gah. 9.
Well, I assist, giving Carl a total of 11.
Yep. So with that 11 diplomacy check, the servant kind of like, he listens to your offer, and he still looks really nervous, but he's not buying it. You just mugged him, so he's not really in the mood to be doing you any favors, despite your offer of giving him his money back.
Yeah, but isn't he still intimidated by Carl?
He is, but he also just got caught trying to do the one thing he already got paid for. He'd rather not risk his job getting caught again.
All right, how much is it going to take?
I don't know. Like, you going to pay my salary for a year if I get caught? Because that's what's going to happen, and I'm going to end up in the dungeons. That.
How much could that possibly be? 1 gold? 2 gold? I have no idea how much that is. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Add a point. Put him in a position he can't say no to.
Let him name his price. Perfect.
It kind of feels like he's extorting me now. I don't know how I come
No, that's not what's going on.
Yeah, he is not interested in even like your bribe, because like the fact that you caught him doing that and mugged him, like you basically scared him straight.
Yeah, but is it
it
a bribe if he just goes up and says this is yours?
Yes, we already discussed.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take scared straight. That's an acceptable outcome to me. Because taking the money was saying, hey, ill-gotten gains, crime doesn't pay type deal. And now that he won't take the money, it seems like he's learned his lesson. So I give him a pat on the back and say, I respect you. And then I walk away.
He just kind of like sits there awkwardly, like shoulders hunched, like, I hope this guy stops touching me soon. And then he gives like a sigh of relief when you walk away.
Yeah, perfect. Best outcome.
All right. So
real quick, just one last thing.
Yeah.
As I walk away, I'm going to flag down a guard and say, hey, keep an eye on that guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there,
what was Carl's alignment? Because it's got to be
Chaotic.
chaotic.
Neutral badass.
Not neutral.
Chaotic lawful.
It's chaotic twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
chaotic.
chaotic. And with the conclusion of that speech, you guys are now going to have 4 social rounds before we. You have 4 social rounds to do as you please.
Well, I want to go up towards A5 where one of my 2 marks is.
Okay.
And you said we can now make a discovery check?
Yes.
Oh, did you ever give us the what our sense motive on her speech was?
Oh, I did not. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. So, on her speech, you get the idea. It's kind of like your basic floor speech in politics. Like, she's speaking to the people that are kind of already on her side, just trying to shore up support, like prevent anyone who might be wavering from like flip-flopping, anything like that. It doesn't sound like there's any real like ulterior motives behind it. It sounds like your pretty standard just political speech.
Now, specifically the part where she was talking about the guy that's getting raised to nobility, did she seem genuine about she was happy that he was picked to be nobility, or like...
I'd say you probably got the feeling she didn't really like... She probably doesn't know him all that well personally. Like, she may have met him once or twice before today. But, I mean, you get from her speech, like, she does seem to believe that, you know, people should be weighed more on their merits than just based on their birth, which is one of the things why she's trying to end this practice of primogeniture.
And I'll make a discovery check when I get to A5.
All right. You can give me a knowledge, nobility, or sense motive check for Duke Leonard Centimus in the archives.
Oh, it's gotta be sensible. 17.
Okay, that does pass. So you can you can learn kind of like one thing about him. So you can choose to learn like one of his like weaknesses, which are skills that are things that he's particularly fond of, that you would get a bit of a bonus in attempting to like curry favor, or you can just learn like one of the things that he responds to in like a fairly positive way.
What's the difference?
Like there are skills that you can use to influence him, which is just like, you know, just walking up and schmoozing, kind of like your basic conversational topics, but like stuff that's not going to immediately like turn him off to the conversation. And then there's like the weaknesses, which are kind of like the things that he's really into, that like would really like stuff that would give you a bonus on those particular checks.
Yeah,
to
give me one of the weaknesses then.
Why would you ever
like
choose the other thing over weakness?
The weaknesses they tend to be much more like specialized, whereas like the influence checks are usually going to be stuff like, you know, bluff or diplomacy or like a certain knowledge or something like that. Like it's stuff that you can use to interact with them, whereas the weaknesses are usually something more specialized, like a profession or like a disabled device or a handle animal, something a little more niche. It's not like not your standard social skill.
Hold on, I might want to change my choice then. Maybe, yeah, I don't think I want a weakness then. I think I want to keep it kind of broad in general, so I have a better chance of having a skill that I'm proficient in that.
Okay, so you just want something that you can use to influence him?
Yes.
Okay. Just kind of like watching for a while and paying attention to what's going on around him, you know that you could use the bluff skill to make some inroads with this guy.
Okay. So in the next round, for my action, I can make a bluff check against him.
Right, you could start like interacting with them and try and yeah. And I will say too, like, I should mention now that you're like actually meeting him and like in the room with him and everything, and everyone would know this at this point, he's actually he's going around here in a wheelchair.
Oh, okay. How old is he? Does he look like he's in a wheelchair due to age or due to like injury?
He tends not to really make it widely known, but he is fairly young. Like, he's a half elf, so like he's a bit more long-lived than a normal human, but he doesn't look like age is what put in there. He looks fairly young. All right, so who's next for the social round? Number 1.
Vulpes will take on this. Vulpes kind of realizing he's a little bit better with his guitar. He's a little bit more confident. He's gonna hit the the Senate room.
The Senate floor itself?
Yeah.
Area A6? Okay.
Yeah. He's allowed to play guitar in there, right?
Well, let's see. Well, are you trying to influence like the whole room, or are you trying to influence like someone in particular?
So I am trying to influence the room.
Trying to do the room. So for the room, what you can do, you could do bluff, you can do knowledge, local, nobility, or religion. You can do perform oratory. You can do profession, clerk, or barrister, or you can do sense motive. I'll tell you now, like, your best bet if you want to like use your perform with the guitar is actually in the courtyard. That's where you can do your perform
Okay.
string.
And that's kind of where I'm gonna be at.
Okay.
So Vulpes gets out his guitar. He's pretty stoked because he has a good one here. So Vulpes, starts really strumming up the chords, and it's gonna be you ain't nothing but a hound dog, squawking all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, squawking all the time. If you ain't voting primogeniture,
Oh,
you
God.
ain't no friend of mine.
Did we forget to tell you that
A
this
masterpiece.
AP is also Tom's mixtape?
Dude. So yeah,
All right, let's see that perform.
he's really trying to make it super catchy, so like people like bring it into like the other rooms, just like
He's trying to get that earworm in people's heads.
exactly.
I really hope you
exactly.
crush this roll, Tom. Like
I really
I am
hope so,
pulling
too.
so hard for a 20 here.
Oh god. All right.
You can do it.
Oh wait, this is a new book, right? Are we getting hero points in this?
Oh, actually, yes, I should describe that. Yes, so you guys all because, yep, this is a new AP. You guys have hero points, and you have a new thing that I'm introducing here called political points. They are like hero points, but they can only be used in situations like this, when you're in a social combat setting. And just like that, you have one of each point to start the book.
Okay. I'm gonna use that political. I assume that it's still the +8 if.
It does do the +8 here, yes.
Okay. So Vulpes is absolutely gonna use that +8, and here we go.
I like it. In front of the princess, no less.
Right?
So a 23.
So a 23, that's making a pretty good song. You've definitely got the crowd going, and you can see some people kind of like still bopping their head as they like walk out of the courtyard when you're done. And like there's definitely a bit of positive buzz going around here, but you don't think you've quite made a bunch of like those big inroads yet, but you're getting there. You're making some progress.
Sure. Maybe I got a couple of like aides bopping their head. They might go up to their like person a little bit later, just be like, "Yo, like this song has been like killing it."
Maybe, just maybe. So, Carl in Brunswick, what are you guys up to?
So Brunswick he's kind of convinced that if Carl's job is gonna get done, Brunswick's gotta be the one to do it.
That's the spirit.
So Brunswick's actually gonna spend his first action to his understanding, Carl's job is to just kind of keep an ear out for like gossip and secrets and stuff. So Brunswick's gonna try to do that for his first action.
Okay. And Carl, how about you?
Did I actually meet with Martella?
You did. She gave you a sealed letter and told you to give it
Oh,
to
that's
some
right.
guy in the archives.
That's right. I'm gonna just get that done so that I can dick around for the rest of the time.
So you head to the archives, and I assume Brunswick, you're going with him.
Oh no, I'm letting Carl just kind of go off and do his thing, knowing that I don't really have any. There's no real damage control I've been able to offer for Carl. He's been just kind of doing his own thing. So Brunswick is like, all right, I'm just gonna send him off into the wild, and I'm gonna try to, see what I can do.
You'll never see me again.
All right. So Sarah, what are you going to do, Brunswick?
There seem to be the most people in a. So if I went like back to where I was before, I'm seeing like 4 NPCs there, or is that like are like 2 of them in like A5? Because you said that was or A4.
Yeah, there's 2 of them that are down on the Senate floor, and like the 3 that are kind of in the ring. Like one of them is Martella. She's just kind of hanging out up in the gallery, and then there's like the other 2 NPCs up in the gallery that you can interact with.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up in the gallery for now.
Okay. You want to try like doing like an influence the room thing, or you want to do like a discovery on one of the NPCs up there, or are you just gonna hang out and kind of, for mechanical purposes, like skip this over?
I was hoping I could make a perception check, and that might get me somewhere. But if those are my options, then I guess I'll influence the room. What influence options do I have that I can get at that +2 bonus that I earned from my first check? Is there any synergy?
What +2 bonus?
Didn't you say?
Oh, right. Yes. So if you're influencing this room, you like the standard skills that you can use are acrobatics, disguise, performance of act, comedy or dance, or sleight of hand. But because of your success down in the Senate floor, you could also use bluff, knowledge, local, nobility, or religion, perform oratory, profession clerk or barrister, or sense motive. You have a lot of options you can choose from here.
Oh, but I don't get a bonus on anything. It just expands the number of skills that I can use.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to make another knowledge local check up here then.
Okay.
There it is. Ooh, I got a 9.
Yeah, 9 is not going to get you anything up here.
So, yeah, Brunswick's just... He's so lost on, like... Because he knows what his job is. But he is kind of convinced that Carl's job is not going to get done. And so he's just kind of worrying himself on that, and he kind of gets lost in his own head for a little while, trying to figure out what he should be doing to kind of compensate and get 2 jobs done for the night.
And that's the ninja smoke bomb, baby.
Before he knows it, 15 minutes have passed, and he's just like, "No, Brunswick, you've got to focus. Just you know what you're there for. Just focus on that."
All right. So then over to Carl, who is delivering a letter to Count Orlando Zespire in the archives. When you deliver the letter, he's like all around the outside of this, like this outer wall is a bunch of like cubicles and desks, and you find him at one of these, and he takes the letter and reads it really quick, and then instructs you to just wait there while he constructs a response. So, in effect, your social round is going to be spent waiting for him to write a letter.
Yes, very well.
Badass ninja.
All right, round 2. What do we got?
All right, Brunswick is gonna hone in on his guy Baron.
Baron O'Cara.
Yeah, he wants to make a discovery check.
So go ahead and give me a knowledge nobility or sense motive check.
Knowledge and nobility, it is 22.
All right. So with a 22, you can get, you get 1 skill. Do you want to know one of his weaknesses or just one of his kind of general influence checks?
Oh, I only get 1?
Yeah.
With a 22? Man. All right. This guy's... Yeah. I probably don't have a whole lot in common with this guy, so I'm going to go with a general skill.
Okay. So you know that that knowledge local is actually a decent spot to start with him.
Perfect. Is that from me, like, just kind of asking around about him?
I think it's more like listening to what he's been talking about.
Yeah, it's a combination of things. Like, you're spending 15 minutes just kind of in his vicinity, kind of like seeing what people are saying about him, what he's talking about, what he's responding to, and what other people are saying. It's like that, like that.
Just gotta read on him.
Yeah, that sense motive or knowledge nobility check is to, like, just to kind of study him for a few minutes to see what makes him tick a little bit.
Okay.
So, Nick, were you up next, or anyone else?
Yeah, I want to do the bluff check on the Duke.
Okay. Duke Centimus. Go ahead and bluff away.
I got a 16.
Okay. Well, With a 16, you do seem to make some inroads. You know that like the way the social combat works is that like you're going to need like a certain number of successful checks over the course of this whole night to essentially like get him to open up to you.
Right.
But you seem to have made a good first impression. Well, Carl, Vulpus, what do you guys got?
I'm playing the waiting game with this guy. He thinks I'm just some sort of telegram boy, not a badass ninja. You could totally take him.
Hey, just imagine you're posing in the doorway, like showing off your
Yeah.
skills.
Serious.
All right. Well, to that end, at the, once the second round kind of starts, he hands you a letter and instructs you to deliver it to a specific junior senator who is hanging out up in the gallery.
Okay. So I'm going to do that, but not before I slink off into the shadows and read it. I should have read the one that I gave to him. That was stupid of me. But now I'm realizing the error of my ways after standing around waiting for him to write back. And I need a taste of the pie here. I got to know what's going on.
Okay. Then I am going to need a sleight of hand check to see how well you can open this, without completely destroying the seal.
Oh, it's sealed? What a bastard. All right. It's worth it. 13? That's pretty good. If I fail, I'll just make something up.
I fell.
I mean, you get the letter open. It's probably not as clean of it's not as clean of a job as you might have wanted to do, but you get the idea that if someone doesn't look too closely at it, they won't notice that it was tampered with. And the contents inside just seem like vague, veiled political threats if this guy doesn't, vote the way that he's supposed to.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to continue in this manner, for all my correspondence. I'm going to sleight of hand, open it up, and if there's something that I don't agree with or something that needs ninja changing, a ninja edit, if you will, I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay. And, so now you're going to deliver the letter?
And now I'm going to deliver the letter.
Okay. Well, now this party is really starting to get going. It's getting more and more crowded in here. So I'm going to need you to make an escape artist check or
Acrobatics.
or a combat maneuver check to try and navigate through the crowd efficiently.
Oh, my fuck. God. 9.
All right.
You give me the simplest friggin' task. Here's a letter. Go give it to that guy over there. And I get a 9 on
All right. So it's
swept up in the seas.
So yeah, it is taking you a while to fight your way through the crowds. So it is going to take you until your next social round to deliver this letter.
God damn it. All right.
All right, Vulpus, how about you? What do you got?
I kind of nod my head. I'm just like, this room's done, and I move over into the next area, which is probably going to be the garden.
You're in the garden.
I thought it was. Oh, okay. Then I'm probably going to move into the A6.
The Senate floor.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, in there you can interact with Baron O'Cara or Calbio from Breezy Creek, or you can just kind of do your discovery to try and pick out some stuff about either of them, or you can just try and work the room a little.
I'm gonna do a discovery. I'm gonna pick the brains of these guys.
All right. Which one? You want to do Baron O'Cara or Calbio?
Which one's not on our side?
I don't think we know that.
Yeah. Right now you're not really sure.
Okay. Then let's start off with Baron.
Okay.
So,
So for discovery, you can do either knowledge nobility or sense motive.
Now, real quick, I see Vulpus come in here, and he kind of looks around. And he locks eyes with the Baron. Can I, kind of intercept and tell him, in-game terms, yo, this guy likes knowledge local?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Feel free. You guys can share notes between yourselves and
sure.
Feel free to work together to accomplish your individual tasks, however you see fit.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so
so
that'll save you a whole 15 minutes. So I go up and I say, I see you coming at him, and I'm and I say he likes talking about, the people. He likes talking about there's local affairs, like, et cetera, use knowledge local. And I think from there you can still make your own discovery check and like learn something else about him, or if you wanted to jump right to interacting with him, you've got it in with knowledge local.
So, where do you think he's leaning?
I was actually about to find out for myself. I do happen to know that he doesn't actually have any votes in the Senate, but his clout and reputation have their own merits.
I see. So, we're talking about a popularity contest over actual numbers.
Brunswick smiles and says, well, all of politics can boil down to popularity, I think.
Fair enough. Do you think that we should go for the vote or go for a person who has a little bit of sway over the public? Yeah, let's go for the dude who has the clout. So I'm going to stick with the Baron. All right, so Vulpus is going to walk up to the Baron, and he's going to talk about local and, try to get a read on where exactly he feels that, the vote should go. I know he doesn't have a vote, but I would like to gauge exactly, is he supporting it or is he not supporting it?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and do your knowledge, your local. And something else I want to mention too while we're kind of on the subject. On top of just like doing this to influence the NPC for just tonight's event, you can also be doing these checks towards the aim of like almost forming a longer lasting relationship with these people. You need a certain number of successes with each NPC to kind of gain like influence to get some mechanical bonus or information from them, but you can instead work towards improving their attitude. So like say an NPC needs 2 successes to win their influence for tonight's events. For those same 2 successes, you could have instead been working towards like improving their attitude. So right now everyone in here is going to be like indifferent towards you, but you could improve them up to like, friendly and even helpful if you really work at it for the night and make a good impression.
Okay, that's kind of what I was looking for. All right, so that's exactly where I'm gonna go with it. So
so you're trying to go for the more personal connection than just like a political conversation.
Yes, okay. I didn't realize that there was a way to do that. Holy shit!
Get some thunder in this recording.
So yeah, I'm trying to buddy this guy, see if he'll follow. Is that diplomacy or is that?
No, it's still going to be the knowledge local. It's the same mechanics to influence. You're just working towards a different aim.
Got it. So trying to buddy, be like, so where's the best bar to pick up some fine young locals?
What? Fine young local what?
Jesus Christ.
With the 26, with the natural 20. Dude, he loves his wenches. Like, that's...
Okay.
Don't you
I
love
can't
it?
walk through a room, but Tom gets 27 on that.
Don't you love it? Someone's like, time to role play. Here's a fucking train wreck of a statement, followed by a natural 20, and now Matt, as the GM, has to pretend that Tom just fucking nailed that shit.
Okay, so yeah, you walk up to him and you start cracking jokes about like some of like the fine looking women you've seen in the bars of Okara, and you see him kind of give you like he's trying to maintain like a stoic presence because that's kind of who he is and it's his reputation, but he gives you a little like a wry smile and like a little wink and kind of like under his breath kind of gives you a couple of good locations that he's been to in the past.
So it's like trying to buddy up with like one of the Queen's guards, I guess. Like,
Yeah, like the Buckingham Palace guard. but,
Yeah,
like,
trying to make
you're
him
actually
laugh.
making a decent impression. So he's
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll throw you a bone.
All right, yeah. All right, so did I improve it or would I not know
that is a success.
All right, awesome.
That is one success towards improving his attitude. Like, he is still indifferent towards you, but you've made some progress towards bumping up to the next level.
Perfect.
Amazing. Great job, Tom.
All
I
right,
think that was
so
the end of the second
that-
round. Then.
Yeah, because
Yep,
I
that
was
was the
like
end of
around
round
the
two.
first.
Yep. So now we are in social round 3. Who wants to start?
Now, if like my goal is still to make friends with. Can I kind of run with Vulpus's success, or is my goal on like a separate track?
Like I said, Vulpus is kind of doing. He did a basically like a personal approach, whereas he's basically trying to like actually improve his attitude towards you to like friendly and then helpful. Like, you can work on that tack, but if you want to just get his like political leanings, that's gonna be like that's gonna be like the separate track.
All right. So I'm gonna approach him, and I see Vulpus making some progress with him. Maybe not on the same level that I'm going for, but
Sure.
so I'm gonna, when I approach, I'm gonna kind of give an indication that Vulpus and I are kind of acquainted, and
Okay. I do like I kind of wave you over and I get like super excited. I was just like, "Oh, Brunswick. Come on over." Oh, man, Baron, you should check out this guy. He's been all over the bars with me
Oh, no.
through every city. Just
I'm like mid handshake with Vulpus, like greeting him, and like just eyes wide. I just like turn to the Baron, like still eyes wide, like and try to take that in stride. And I'm gonna my goal is
sideswiped every time another player came near him.
I know. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to springboard off the from the local wenches into local politics, and see what his thoughts are on that primo Madeira.
Primogeniture.
Primogeniture, yeah. Just kind of be like, so he's a military man, so like I would assume he would see the merit in somebody's like combat prowess, their tactics, more than their name, like where they came from. So I'm gonna kind of play off that, and just kind of compliment him on like his accolades, and I've heard all about you, and I'm always an admirer of someone whose actions and proficiencies speak louder than the names of their fathers. And halfway through this, I'm realizing I have no idea if this guy got into the military because of his last name or not, but that's fine. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to knowledge local my way into that, and kind of steer that towards what Lady Eutropia is working towards.
Okay. So give me that local.
I got a 15.
Well, he doesn't seem as happy about it as he seemed to have been with Vulpus's line of approach. He does seem to appreciate the point that you're making. So yes, that is a success.
Awesome. And then of course I let the conversation steer itself back into the local horse.
Too bad I wasn't over there.
All right. So moving on. Who's next?
Oh, I gotta follow that train wreck up. Are you kidding me?
You just make Joe go next.
That's true.
Can I make a perception
just make it
check
more of a
to
train
see-
wreck.
Can I make a perception check to see Carl trying to get through the crowd?
I mean, you never need a perception check. Like, he's part of your group.
What?
You
I'm a ninja. Of course he needs a perception check.
can, but yeah, you can see the supposedly stealthy ninja like failing to bustle his way through the crowd.
Okay. Is he coming like near me? Like close enough where I don't have to yell?
Not terribly, but like you think you could just kind of get to him without too much trouble. It's just kind of like
No,
I don't. It's just like every move he makes, it just seems like someone just keeps walking in his way.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to like go to him. I don't want to leave the Duke. That's priority number one is working on this Duke. I'm gonna bluff him and something along the lines of, "It's truly a shame what's happened to this archive. I used to love coming here when I was younger, when it was better funded."
Okay.
Ooh, that should be pretty high. That's a 29 bluff.
That definitely seems to make an impression on him. He just kind of like looks up and around at the galleries of books and even a couple of like, empty shelves like over in one corner that used to be just packed full of stuff. And yeah, he expresses some regret that it's not as glorious as it once was. So yeah, that is definitely a success. All right, Carl, Vulpus.
Yeah, let's get unsuccessful, baby. Carl's turn.
All right, so this round you can you spend it getting back up into the gallery to deliver that letter to that minor senator.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll me another sleight of hand. I want to see like how competent you are at like handing it to him without him taking notice of it.
I got a 23.
23. Yeah. He just kind of like takes the letter from you and like opens it. He doesn't seem to even like care that it was sealed. He just kind of like rips it open and like reads the letter and just kind of like waves a hand dismissively at you.
I do not take kindly. He just dismisses me like that?
Yep.
That's it?
Like
Yep.
you're a servant.
Wow, real disrespect. All right. Well, I'm going to spend the rest of my little round with my ears open and my eyes peeled.
All right.
Maybe someone will accidentally say something important, and then I'll have the upper hand instead of just being a boy,
All right.
an errand boy.
All right. So with that task done, that means the next social round you will be able to do whatever you like. Do what you would like. You have a little bit of free time.
Okay.
All right. Vulpus, back to you.
Oh man. So is this person up to friendly, or is he?
Oh no, he is still indifferent. You basically need to make like a certain number of these checks to pass before you even bump him up to friendly, and then you need to do a certain number more to bump him up from there.
Oh.
Like each check is not an improvement in attitude. Like
This ain't The Sims.
it requires some work. Yeah.
You can't high five him until he's ready to marry you.
So yeah, I guess I continue on this dude. I mean, I just don't want to be like wasting time on it. Like if there's other things that I could be doing.
What did your letter tell you to do?
Essentially, like try to switch like people's votes, and try to spread like good, try to counter anybody else's like slander and like even just like turn it on them, and do other things that actually help out with the voting situation.
Basically, like Vulpus's job is to like find someone that may be like a false supporter and like kind of slander them so that any criticism they might hike after the fact is not taken as seriously. So he's trying to like suss out who's like on their face maybe supporting but not actually supporting the vote.
So yeah, which is kind of why like trying to find a person who's like voting is kind of a big deal to me, but like I don't know. I feel kind of useless with this dude. So I'm actually going to kind of get on my way, and I guess I'm gonna kind of meander room to room, and I'm just gonna like kind of listen in on conversations and maybe where like certain rumors start. Try to pinpoint exactly where things are coming from, if that's a possibility.
You just want a
I
way
guess-
to find
sorry.
out who's important, right? Whether that's walking room to room, or is there just a roll that you can roll and be like, oh, I know this person's senator or whatever, so they definitely have a vote.
A little bit more than that. I'm trying to find like pinpoint exactly who's like giving false information or like bad information about this vote. Who's very clearly going against the PG.
So, like I said, yeah, there are a number of people. Like, you know, after talking to Brunswick, that Baron O'Cara does not have a vote, but he is a man of a very good reputation. So, like, is one of those, like, getting him to your side might help sway some of the people that are kind of on the fence, being like, oh, well, if that guy's for it, maybe, you know. But looking around, I mean, you know that Calbio also in this room does not have a vote because he's not even a noble yet. Like, just going through the NPCs that you've kind of seen, you would know that Duke Centimus does have a vote, the one that Madame Lydian's been talking to.
Okay.
You would know that Countess Abriel Pace has a vote. She's up in the gallery. You would know that Lady Gloriana has a vote out in the courtyard. And you would know that Maxilar Catharius has a vote back in the arcade in A1.
Okay. Then I guess I'm going to go up in the gallery and talk to Lady... What's her name?
Abriel Pace.
I guess I'm going to talk to Abriel Grace.
Pace. Okay. So do you want to just walk up and start talking, or did you want to do a discovery check, try and see what kind of inroads you want to do first?
I'm just gonna walk up to her.
Okay. Well, then what skill would you like to use?
I'm gonna try to make it more personal. I'm gonna use local, I guess, or is that or diplomacy?
Which one do you want to use?
I'm gonna use diplomacy.
Okay. Go ahead. We're gonna walk up and try and diplomatize her.
Well, hello there, pretty mama. I noticed you're standing there, all noble-like. Why don't we take you out of the crowd for a little bit and we can have a little bit of a conversation.
What the fuck?
Tom is a genius. He's an actual fucking genius.
All right, roll your natural 20.
I'm working on it.
Fucking swear to God. This is another natural 20. I'm not gonna be okay with it.
20.
All right. So yeah, she after kind of like talking to her for a bit, like she's very quick-witted but kind of easily bored with a conversation. But you seem to keep her entertained for a while. So yeah, that is a success towards influencing her.
And just so
Very
we're clear,
nice.
this is on the personal side, right?
Yeah, this is on the personal side.
Okay, so you're trying to improve her attitude.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and I believe that concludes the third round here. So into round number 4. Who wants to start us off?
You know what? I will just kind of get it done and over with.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah,
Like a
just-
Band-Aid.
oh boy.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just going to keep it going and try to hold her attention.
All right, same check, same diplomacy.
Yep.
All right, let's hear it.
24.
All right, yeah. So you are definitely keeping her attention. That is definitely another success towards improving her attitude. Although she's a wily one, so she's still feeling you out.
Oh, I
So to
like
speak.
Wiley. I'm bad.
She's
to
not
the
ready to
bone.
leave the safety of her friends and go off with this stranger yet. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. Brunswick will go next.
okay.
I'm gonna do another knowledge local on Baron Otara.
All right, keep worming your way in there. Let's see it.
Yeah, kind of. I guess I'm just gonna keep the same strategy as before. Kind of going into like personal anecdotes about people that I've met who never really, they didn't come from privilege, but they're just so good at what they did that it's just a shame that they didn't have the resources that less competent people had because of just being born into privilege.
Okay.
21.
Okay. And with that is definitely another success to influence Baron O'Cara. So, with that, he like as you're going along, as you're talking, he really starts paying more attention to you, like among the people that are surrounding him, and kind of nodding along with what you're saying. And Vinny's like, yes, that makes a lot of sense. So you have, with that, you have successfully swayed Baron O'Cara over to the side of ending primogeniture.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, did something right tonight.
Now to start doing Carl's job again.
Speaking of Carl, what are you gonna do? You got whatever you want.
Oh God,
Whatever I want. I'm gonna go get in trouble.
where's the punch?
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna find who's the big guy, like the big guy who's getting honored tonight. Is this him right here?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
Calbio.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try and suss out the people. Not him. He's not my target. It's the people around him.
All right, so you want to do a discovery check on him?
Yes.
All right, so you can give me a knowledge local or a sense motive.
Sense motive is. Oh wait, it's -1. Knowledge local. All right, it's knowledge local. Oh god damn it! Whoever built this character is an idiot. 10.
Why would you say that to the guy who can kill you?
I'm just kidding. We're having fun.
So like, he's just like, he's kind of like bouncing around this party, and like it's despite like his pretty nice clothes, they look like he does not look comfortable in these clothes. Like these are just not the types of clothes he's used to wearing. So he keeps like tugging at his collar and like pulling his breeches down, like he feels like they're riding up on him or whatever. And like he's more interested in looking around at like the room itself than really interacting with most of the people. And most of the people in the room are also not that interested in interacting with him. Like despite the
okay.
accolades that he's getting, he's still just like a commoner right now, and most of these people just think they're better than he is.
Okay, so me and him got a lot in common. I'm a ninja. He's out of place. Okay. Any way I can convince him to take a walk with me?
Not this social round, because that you were just doing
Okay.
your discovery check was your action for this one.
I got
Well,
you.
maybe next time. All right, Madam Lady, and you're up.
Okay. Continuing with my last bluff about the archives being a mess, she's gonna say to the Duke, I believe even you would agree with me, Duke, that the most powerful magic is written words. I hear that Princess Eutropia plans to invest the kind of funding that an archive of our great nation deserves. And I'll roll a bluff check. That's how
Right in her
politics works,
campaign
right?
for her.
Yeah, you tell them what they want to hear, even if that's not true.
Absolutely.
This feels like an important roll, so we need some power dice.
Paradise.
Oh, I'm gonna use my. Can I use a political point to add a +4 to it now that I've rolled it?
You can.
I will do that for a 17.
All right, 17 is going to be enough. So, yeah, the more you're talking about Princess Eutropia and her methods, he starts to open up a little more to you, and he actually does. He ends up telling you that he believes that any person is capable of rule, regardless of the condition of his or her body, and he kind of like
That's what we want
looks
to hear.
down at his like broken legs, and yeah, so you now know that he is on our side. He is on your side. He is going to vote to end primogeniture.
Beautiful.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of that fourth social round, and it is about this time that you guys feel like a little buzzing coming from your those badges that Martella gave you, and then you hear a voice in your head, and it's Martella beckoning you to join her in the gallery.
All right, I go
Alright.
to the gallery.
I also,
Definitely.
I will like bid adieu to the Duke, nice and formally before I leave. That I won't just turn and walk away.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold out my hand in hopes that she grabs on mine, and if she does, I'm gonna kiss her hand, and I'm gonna say, "For now, adieu, my lady."
Oh, Shantae.
Yeah, I love that Tom's role-playing Johnny Bravo. It's about time someone has the balls to do it.
know what's funny is like I kept on trying to do like the Elvis Presley, and that's exactly who I thought it was coming out to be. It was definitely like the Johnny Bravo. I was just like, oh fuck.
I love it.
Oh, perfect. So, I'd like a perception check from everyone as you gather around Martella in the balcony.
The madam got a 16.
The Carl got a 12.
Brunswick got a 3.
11.
So, of the four of you, Madame Ladian is the only one to notice. As you are approaching Martella, she appears to just be kind of like enjoying the show of like one of the jugglers. She's laughing and kind of like clapping, applauding them. As you all gather around, she kind of goes off to one side, and you see her like discreetly set like this little brass, like cricket-looking device, like next to her seat. As you all approach, she welcomes you, bids you kind of like sit down in like just the chairs that are nearby. Yeah, and she says, "Hello. I didn't ask you here just to look over your shoulders. There's apparently a young woman who arrived recently by the name of Malphine Trant. She's the daughter of Senator Trant. She's a belligerent, narcissistic ass and a bully to boot. If she's here, it's likely to intimidate one or more of the junior senators into backing her father. If one or more of you could keep an eye on her and quietly intercede should she try, I would be rather grateful."
Carl the ninja nods.
Oh, God.
And he sees Brunswick nodding as well. Sounds like the team is back together.
Yeah, Brunswick's like, he's like inhaling to say, "I'll do it," and then Carl says, "I got this," and Brunswick just, with all the wind out of his sails, says, "You can count on us." Before everybody disperses, actually, Brunswick actually takes that little alchemical cartridge out of his pocket, and like very discreetly, and he kind of like shows it to the group, and he says, "Does anybody know what this is?"
What would we roll, man?
Either craft alchemy or it was knowledge of nature. Well, Martella takes a look at it, and she goes, yes, that seems to be some kind of alchemical wafer. May I?" She holds out her hand.
I give it to her.
She pulls it up and kind of gives it a couple of sniffs, like, oh yes, this is I've seen this like before. It's designed to agitate some sort of insects. Where'd you get this?
I sent a glance at Carl, and then
I'm looking the other way, bro. You're flying solo on this
I
one.
say, I intercepted this off of a servant who claimed he was paid to plant this near some of the bees' nests in the garden while Lady Eutropia was speaking. I didn't know what it was, but it seemed very suspicious at the time. But it's clear now that someone wanted her speech to be interrupted.
Oh, well, you did well. I can only imagine what a swarm of angry bees would have done to that particular situation, so good on you.
Yes, we did well. Excellent work, Brunswick and I.
Just shake
I was
my
there
head
too.
with a grimace.
I apprehended the servant, and I made sure the funds were taken as well.
And then redirected them back to the culprit. But yeah, like as you're kind of gathered around still, she kind of goes to each of you in turn, like, yes, Madam Lady, and I see you've made quite the inroads with Duke Centimus there. He seems quite amenable to opposition from what I could see from here.
Yes, he certainly was. Very, I think he feels a similar struggle that the princess is fighting for.
So I take it we can count on his vote?
Yes, we most certainly can. He will vote for the princess.
Oh, very excellent. How about you, Brunswick? How fares Baron O'Cara? You seem to be quite fond of him tonight.
The Baron appreciates holding merit on one's proficiencies, and I was able to get him to see the value in allowing a wider pool of people to be able to inherit the throne And it seems that he is also on our side. With any luck, his clout will bleed out into other hopefuls who are on the fence.
Oh, that is good news. I can see what pressure I can apply from here using his name. That's very fine work, Brunswick. Good job. And Vulpix, how are you doing? How are you faring?
Not too shabby.
Well,
not
I
too
almost
shabby.
got that girl to come off with me.
I was gonna go there.
I'm still working on her.
It seems like my talents are more useful in a more broader sense. As you can see, I got some people toe tapping to that song earlier. I don't know if you were there for that, but
I was not, but I heard the aftermath.
I hope it was catchy and to your liking.
Yes. Well, keep up your efforts. You seem to be making some inroads with Countess Pace over there.
I was until of course you are you come first in this in this I'm only using her to further my gains.
Oh, jeez. Okay. She's just gonna kind of let that one drop.
Followed up with a natural 20, Tom, so it comes off better.
Yep.
And then she's gonna turn to Carl and be like, "Yes, Carl, you're doing fine work tonight. Here, I need you to bring this to Lady Gloria Maria in the courtyard." And she hands Carl a note.
As soon as she hands me the note, I'm out of there. I want to show her what a great job I'm doing by being quick, you know?
You know what's really funny is I think that he keeps on handing you busy work so that way you don't fucking kill someone.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
Also, I like how in an hour and a half you went from "I'm a badass ninja, why am I delivering shit" to like, "All right, do a good job, like, be the best delivery boy I can be."
I'm all over the place.
And yeah, so seeing Carl hurry off with his letter, I'm going to take my opportunity and try to intercept what's her name before Carl can catch up.
All right, you're gonna try and find Malphine Trant.
Yes. And what was her deal again?
Her father is like one of the prominent senators that's like been very vocal against ending primogeniture. So like, not only is this lady like, not only is she the daughter of like a very vocal opponent of the vote, but she's also a bit of a bitch and is prone to like just pushing people around to get what she wants. So your job is to like keep an eye on her and try and stop her if that happens.
Got it.
Gotcha.
So now you guys have some time. We got another social round here. So what would you guys like to do?
Oh, you know where I'm going.
Right back to Countess Pace.
I'm
Gotta
gonna go with Vulpus over there
Okay.
to the Countess.
Okay. Now, do you want to do a discovery, or you just want to roll up and start rolling skills?
What did I know about her from my knowledge check?
From her, you know that she's very ambitious. Like, you get the idea that she would do just about anything if it would advance her politically and socially.
Okay.
So give her as much attention as possible.
So when we go over, the madam's gonna say, "Oh, my lady, I see that you have met Vulpus. He happens to be one of the most fast-rising musicians performers, and that the locals love him. I dare say in no time at all, he'll be playing the Senate floor."
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And
There it is.
I'll roll a bluff check to kind of sell that like Vulpus is like a big deal, right? He's like the hot young kid coming up.
All right. Roll it up.
So are you trying to assist me, or are you...
I'm not trying to assist you in her being like a better for you personally. It's more I want her to think that like the locals and like the peasants and people like you and you're like the cool new thing, right? Like she wants to be empowered and like on the leading edge and shit. So I'm trying to make it seem like knowing you is a cool hip thing, and hopefully when she finds
sounds
out
like
you
an
support
assist.
the princess.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like an assist.
Well, I'm lying either way. So, ooh, hard customer to sell. 12.
Well,
I guess that assists.
you must. Well. All right. So what are you doing? Like, are you like just trying to like prop up Vulpix?
Yeah,
Vulpix.
I
Vulpix.
guess. Yeah, I guess prop
Like, are you-
him up so that when she like finds out that he wants to, like, he supports the princess, she might be like, "Oh, superstar likes the princess. I like the superstar."
Okay. So if you guys are working together, I will just give Vulpus a bonus on his check then, because that would be enough to help out.
All right. I'm gonna go off of it, I guess, and diplomatize some more.
All right.
18.
All right. That seems to do it. That's enough. She kind of gives you a between your attentions and between Madam Lady and kind of talking you up to her. She gives you kind of a shy smile and like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were like the next big thing." And she seems a little friendlier towards you. You have successfully brought her from indifferent to friendly.
Oh, yes. Now's the manipulation part.
You know this is recorded, right? It's gonna be used against you.
Yeah, I know. So, like, Vulpus is like, you love him for, like, the quick minute, and then, like, he's an asshole a little bit later. Like, it's kind of a love-hate relationship with him.
Okay, so she is friendlier towards the group in general, but especially towards Vulpus. All right, so now we got Brunswick and Carl. What are you guys doing?
Brunswick's going off to find Malphine Trant. Is this her in A1? She looks like a real Malphine.
That is her. Like just asking around, like it would take you no time at all to find out that she has recently arrived and is just hanging out in the arcade and like back in like the entrance to the Senate.
All right, I'm gonna head over there and challenge her to a game of Pac-Man. And by that I mean I'm going to do a discovery check for her. And what do I roll for those again?
It's gonna be either knowledge, nobility, or sense motive.
Hell yeah, knowledge nobility, baby. That's a 24. Knowledge nobility.
All right. So you're watching Malphine, and she's like, I mean, cards on the table. She's not like an NPC that you can really like influence, and she's not like the other NPCs here where you're trying to build up influence and kind of work politics with them.
My strategy was going to be just kind of holding her attention. So like if there's some way I feel like I can like start a conversation with her and just keep her attention on me instead of going around and causing chaos at the party, that's kind of what Brunswick wanted to do.
Like for this round, she's just kind of milling around in this area, and she's got like a crowd of probably like 3 people that are just kind of like constantly hanging around her. Like it's like her posse, her sycophants that are just kind of following her around, and even they seem like anyone that gets close to her that she doesn't want to talk to gets chased off like immediately.
Okay.
And she's just grabbing, like, as the servants are walking by with like cups of wine, she's just grabbing like cup after cup and like draining them. She is like, she's going hard into the wine so far.
Okay. So I'm not gonna get like a skill check I can use to talk to her.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Because she's not like the other NPCs here, whereas like she's more important than like the general crowd, but a lot less important than all of the PCs here that you can talk to and influence as far as mattering for what we're doing.
I am noticing that she's kind of fond of drinking, though, and so I think I'm going to. Was that my whole turn? Like, was it obvious to me upon like watching her that like this isn't someone that I'm going to be able to get close to, and I could do something else with my turn, or was like that the result of taking my turn, of coming to that realization?
Yeah, like that was the result of taking your turn.
Okay. All right.
So, Carl, you're up.
All right, let's do it to it. That letter, what does it say?
Give me a sleight of hand to see how well you can open it.
Oh, God. 15.
Oh, you're getting a little better at these.
Don't patronize me.
He said little.
You open up the letter and kind of peek inside, and it's basically Martella informing Lady Gloriana that basically of what you guys have been up to and like the information you guys have uncovered so far at the party. So from this you're getting the idea that her and Lady Gloriana are working together relatively closely in their efforts to support this vote.
Okay, I don't like it. We gotta make some changes on this letter. There's no mention of Carl, is there? And what an asset he is?
No, Martella does not mention the messenger boy.
Yes, well, I believe it's time that the messenger mentions himself.
And how are you going to do that?
Exactly. Is there like ink lying around?
I mean, there's a whole library, so you could probably
There you
find
go.
something to write with up there.
That's where we're going.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to need a linguistics check from you to see how well you forge whatever you're writing into this letter.
Oh, I don't know linguistics. Let's do something else.
Hey, you could use a hero point if you really want to do this.
Oh, I do really want to do it. I'm hero point.
You're using your political point here?
Whatever's gonna give me the most bang for my buck.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to do your linguistics with a +8
Yep.
from your political point, go
Yep.
for it.
Yep. Here we go. This is big. 17.
All right. Well, you definitely have, I guess, added to the letter to make yourself look good.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and see how well you did next month on our next
okay.
War
Man.
for the Crown AP episode.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Nice.
See ya.
Thank you all for listening. This has been the Inspired Incompetence podcast. We will talk to you guys next week. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.